glasses. I cannot see without my glasses, and I'm sick and tired of pretending.
Should I get fake? Like, I used to wear fake glasses when I was younger because, like, for a while there, remember when they were like a fashion statement, like the nerd glasses, and so I had like fake ones.
The 3D ones that you would pop out the lenses with your thumb, and then you put like the pink cheetah print duct tape on the middle.
Yeah, I used to do that. I also faked my eye exam one time in 4th grade because I really wanted glasses. And I told my parents that like 2 years ago. And they did not think that story was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand why. I tried to fake it, but like in the opposite, like I really didn't want to have to wear glasses in elementary school because I had like rectangle frames and they had little lions on the side of them, and they were transition lenses. Little lions on the sides of them, and because I would always pick up my frames after I got my eyes dilated and I couldn't see anything, and so I had to go. I had to trust someone else that I love dearly to pick them out for me. And they do the transition lenses. I got so much shit for transition lenses as if I had any choice.
I would have
in 4th grade.
I'm sorry.
And the person who still to this day bullies me, my older brother, gives me shit about him all the time. Haven't worn them since 4th, 5th grade. That was 45 years ago.
In 4th grade, I got these little glasses that, as if we're talking as if this is not already going to be like a 3-hour episode, but whatever. I picked out these, like, can I say, see you next Tuesday ass pink, like they almost looked like Mew Mew. Like I was Bella Hadid, bitch, in 4th grade. Like I literally was like, I'm everything.
And you didn't need them?
No. I just thought like they were, I just thought they served. Like, I'm sorry. I thought they were cute. And I was like, I have to have them. Yeah, they were like pretty expensive, obviously, as glasses go. And so my parents were like, what's your problem? Why are you like this? So, yep, didn't giggle, not even a little bit. But anywho, welcome to another episode of Laps Down. Oh my God, 2 minutes in and we're going to talk motorsports. I just wanted to start this episode off by saying we have been attacked. Laps Down Nation has been attacked. One person left us a not 5-star review on Laps Down on Spotify. And so now we have a 4.9. And I'm going to pretend like I don't care, but I care so very deeply. And I need you guys to give us a 5-star review if you think that we deserve a 5-star review so that other people come to our show and think we're a 5-star show. Because to have them think we're a 4.9 show, I don't know. I think that like that's not representative of who we are. You know what? Maybe we're a 4.9 star show. But like, I just think it's a bit hurtful. Like you couldn't have left us a constructive feedback comment or something. We could have fixed whatever.
They didn't say anything?
Well, on Spotify, you can't say anything, but nobody reached out. We've never gotten a hate comment on YouTube or anything. And I'm saying that now. And like, I feel like they might come, but I would rather us get constructive feedback before you give us this less than 5-star review. Let us fix it.
But if I can be totally transparent with you, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. We are no longer a 5-star podcast. It's like, okay, but now we can be 4.9 stars.
We're
Thank
a 4.9
God.
star podcast. You know what? And this all started when we started doing the fuck-ass cold opens. You know what I mean? Like, we used to be a proper podcast that would just get right into
Should
it.
we,
right when
we can
record.
We can stop and we can start with the hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Laps Down podcast. Maybe if we go back to it, you think?
Maybe next week. I mean, it's too late now. I've already told the whole story about the glasses and stuff, and we got to keep it in there. But like, maybe next week we'll do that. I don't know.
We can do that. We'll put it in the admin notes.
I'm like negotiating with crazy people here. I'm like, who would dare? But please let me know. I'll fix whatever your issues are.
Well, and it could be so many things. It's like, is it because it's sometimes 3 hours long? It doesn't really make sense. Sometimes I said the F word a lot the last episode.
You think?
Can you tell like what? I think it might be. I literally put a little sticky note on my wall that says it says no cussing. So
I was trying to keep it clean this week too. I already am off to a great start. I didn't even say the C word and I wanted to so bad because it was like the only word I could think of to describe my glasses and the looks that I was serving. I think it has something to do with the fact that we came out as part of the Denny Hamlin bandwagon. I have to say.
But
I think that we've
like, always been on the Denny Hamlin bandwagon.
We haven't been vocal about it very recently, and maybe people just didn't realize that about us.
Forgot.
But like, if you don't want to hear about that, that's fine. We barely talk about it.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
like you
Not
gotta
as much
fast
as we
forward
used
by
to.
15 seconds. You know what I mean? Like you'll get through it. We're
Hmm.
offering you 3
Well,
hours of entertainment, and maybe we say a little bit about Denny Hamlin in there, but you gotta live with it.
damn.
I don't know, but just keep that in mind, guys. If you want to leave us a review, it's appreciated. We have one more admin note, and it's from MJ. Do you want to share your admin note?
Oh, yeah. IMSA next week. We have IMSA next week. Battle on the bricks. I think it's on the bricks, not of the bricks. Could be.
Yeah.
IMS. I think it's, I should have like literally written down any of these notes. I think it's 6 hours. All I know is Logan Sargent's going to be there. I will be tuning in. Are you going to be
She will
tuning
not
in?
be there. She will not be there. She'll be tuning in.
Yeah.
But Logan Sargent will be there.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
tuning in, driving actively.
Clocking in. He's
Clocking in,
employed.
working. Yeah. No, I'll be watching.
We'll be watching. But I just want to let you guys know that's next weekend. So.
Okay. Well, we have a special lineup today. We have some F1 to talk about. We have some IndyCar to talk about. We have a NASCAR race to talk about in Bristol that happened on Saturday. And then very, very exciting, we have a supercars race at the Bend that we're going to talk about as well. So welcome to our supercars listeners. We have a few that have joined us the last couple weeks. And I told you guys to wait. We were going to talk about supercars. And today's the day. Woo! And so let's get started with F1. The week started off with a ominous statement made by Williams. I was like, oh Lordy, why are we making a statement? And then I read it and I was like, I forgot about all this. They basically said, we are grateful to the steward. This sounds so threatening. We are grateful to the stewards for reviewing Carlos's Zandvoort penalty and are pleased that they have now decided he's not at fault and this was a racing incident. Doesn't that sound like kind of threatening? Like, I'm so glad the stewards could come to their senses and realize who was correct and also right this entire time.
Yeah, it sounds like the villain after they like successfully blackmail the mayor is what it sounds like, and I'm living for it.
You pro blackmailing the mayor. Famously.
Sure.
While it is frustrating that our race was compromised by the original decision, mistakes are part of motor racing. See, mistakes are part of motor racing, and we're going to forgive them for their mistakes.
They did
I'm
something.
glad they could rectify it.
Mm-hmm.
We will continue to work constructively with the FIA to improve the stewarding processes and review the racing rules for the future. Dude, this statement is crazy. It sounds like they have the FIA at gunpoint and they're like, I'm so glad you could change your mind. So glad you could be on the right side of history, FIA. It's like, whoa, this is really serious.
Something happened in that room. I don't know when it happened because they didn't want to see him, but something happened between Carlos and the stewards in that room. And it came out in Williams' favor. And so, like, what? You want me to be like, whoa, something fishy's going on here? No. I'm just going to clap and I'm going to look away.
My thing is, though, is that, like, it doesn't change anything about Zandvoort. Like, as they said, it's like it already fucked with the race.
Right. But he did get his penalty points rescinded, which is nice because he does tend to take out, I don't know, Oliver Behrman. I don't know if we want to rehash that. But so he could use those extra couple.
FIA will not be reconsidering that penalty that they gave to Ollie. For some reason. No, I thought this was so crazy. I don't know. I think it's funny though. Like now that Carlos is on like the student government of drivers,
yeah.
like this gives like he was like it's not even gonna fix anything, but I just want to do what's right, and it's like
okay, it's the principle.
It's the principle of it. But I thought that was super funny. This was great. This was a great story. Max Verstappen is insane. Will not stop racing. And he raced around, I don't even know what the course is called. The Nürburgring.
The Nürburgring?
Nürburgring.
Mihoy Minoy.
It's the super dangerous one, okay? And he really, really, really wanted this like permit to race GT3 cars. And part of this was like he had to do laps with like a instructor, like a driving instructor, which is so funny. And then the other part of it is that they gave him like restrictor plates essentially on his car. Like that's kind of from what I've gathered, like they lowered the horsepower for the rookies so that they can't like launch themselves off a cliff. But it's like funny because he accidentally like qualified way higher than he probably should have with this super slow car. And then at the beginning of the race, everybody around him has like way more horsepower than him.
It's so good. It's so funny to watch.
Like a rock.
He just has to like move out of the way. It's like when they in NASCAR when they have to drop to the back of the field for a penalty. That's exactly what it was like. I was like, huh, I've seen this before. Speeding on pit lane.
And then throughout the race, he apparently was like quite a bit slower than the people that don't have restrictor plates on their cars, obviously, but like significantly faster than all the other rookies. So he was literally like just in a race of his own. Like nobody was around him, like because he didn't have anybody.
He's used to that. He's fine.
Yeah. And like I guess he was just like cranking out great lap times, doing what he normally does on a Sunday, which is just like fuck around on his own out in front, nobody around him, just whatever. And then he went home and apparently got on iRacing. So at what point do we start to say he's insane? Like I've always thought he's insane, but it does get to a point where it's like, how can this be fun anymore? Like, don't you want to just go sit on your yacht some more or something? I don't understand.
No, there's something special about that boy. Get him into F1. Get him a seat in a Red Bull. I don't know. Yeah, I think that GT3 kid has a lot of potential, and I think he should look into other motorsports as well.
Into other motorsports. It's good to see like success stories come out of iRacing. You see people that are just really passionate about iRacing, and then
Max Verstappen, William Byron, me.
Us
after we get.
I was cracking up in the comments of that video, and I read all you guys' comments. So does MJ. We really appreciate them. All the people being like, "I don't think you guys are ready for an iRacing lobby."
A lot of people were like, you can like play by yourself. The NASCAR 25 game, you can just race by yourself. They're like, it gets really crazy in that iRacing lobby. And I was like, I think it was Ken who said that, and I was like, yeah, no, he clocked us. Fair. We can't do that.
Yeah, we're not built for that life. And that's okay. There's people like Max Verstappen that we can just enjoy them iRacing and watch on like a separate stream. And we don't have to participate. And that's fun. And that's fine. Okay, this is insane. We have some rumors now that Isaac Hadjar is destined for the Red Bull seat.
No.
I've been listening to like some other motorsports podcasters kind of just like talking about like the F1 season.
You listen to other
Yeah, I tried to tell you about them. I listened to this one British podcast. I'm not going to shout them out, but they're pretty popular. I'm sure other people
you can shout them out.
It's called Late Breaking Podcast.
Red Flags.
Girl, don't. Don't. Sometimes I'm like, are we the Red Flags podcast? Sometimes
I think we are to some people for sure.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot of people that hate listen to us, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
just leave us 5 stars or no review at all. That's fine. But they are great. I've always like wanted to send you so many episodes in the last couple weeks because they've been talking so much about. They talked a lot about the Colton Herta to IndyCar thing, and they're British people, and they were like, Colton Herta is fucking awesome, and IndyCar is so fucking cool. And I was like, oh, bless up, let's go. And I was like, MJ would love this. But anywho, they were like talking about other F1 drivers and their seasons and who needs to do better. And a lot of people, not just them, a lot of people are like Liam and Yuki. Like, what do their futures look like at this point? Because they've been tried at the F1 Red Bull seat, have been decided not that great at it. You can't continue to leave these people on the feeder JV team if they have already established there's no future for them at Red Bull. So like presumably both of them like could be on the way out. I think that could mean inevitably, if not this year, but for sure next year, I think we're going to see Isaac Hadjar in that Red Bull seat.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be incredibly different this time, putting Isaac in the second Red Bull seat. Everything's going to turn around. Suddenly him and Max are going to be racing each other.
Equals.
It's definitely, I would say Liam Lawson. And that's just because he has been trying to fight my favorite drivers recently. But like, is it even worth having these conversations? Because it's just like, we're going to put him in the second seat. The exact same thing's going to happen. It's going to be revealed halfway through the season that the second seat isn't getting the same parts as the first seat. We're going to do this all again.
Well, the only thing that could be different is that it could actually be much worse for both of them because the 2026 car could really suck with the new regulation. So maybe he'll be secluded. He won't be secluded to suffer alone. Maybe Max will suffer with him.
I think that's kind of the only ideal situation we could have at Red Bull looking forward is both cars suck hard. Suck hard. Both cars bad.
Can we not say
underperform? I'm not cursing at all except for the one F word I dropped really, really early in the podcast.
Oh, I don't even remember.
It was quick.
Yeah. Right out the gate.
Yeah.
What the fuck is up? No, I think that that's great. I think that would be great. I think that they're gonna put that little Archie kid in the sugar-free Red Bull seat. I think they're gonna put. Yeah, I just don't know who the other little sugar-free Red Bull kid is gonna be.
Because it's gonna be Alex Dunn.
Maybe. But I think they gotta buy him off of McLaren.
From McLaren.
And McLaren might not be willing to do that now.
Especially because they're probably going to be kind of in a transition period.
I'm so scared for the last 8 races of this season, by the way. I'm terrified. I feel like none of this is going to be normal and none of it's going to be okay. And all of it's going to be horrible.
I had to try to explain what was happening to my brother because my brother texted me out of the blue last night, my older brother, and he's like, who's your F1 team? And I was like, oh, it's like Williams.
You're going to be real disappointed.
Williams, Alex Albon. And then he was like, what are our thoughts on like McLaren and Lando Norris? And I was just kind of like, well, like McLaren sucks butt. And then I was like, Lando is fine. He just has like an affinity for bottling. And I don't really think he's just a tragic little pathetic driver, which is usually my type. But this time it was not. But apparently his whole entire friend group are Lando Norris fans. And I was like, things are going to get really sad really soon. Yeah, so just like be there for your friends, thoughts and prayers. Remember to like check in on them and just try to keep that in mind. He was just like, I'm going to be mean to him about it. I'm going to chirp him. I was like, okay, sick. Yeah, no, have fun.
Okay, well, he would love our podcast. Tell your brother to check it out if he wants some new material. I think that you're going to fall for Lando Norris. I think he's going to get real pathetic and sad in the next like 2 to 3 weeks. And I think you're going to really like it. So I'm like leaving space for that to happen in our podcast dynamic. I'm like, keeping space for that because I think it's inevitable.
The Chase Elliott effect on me where it's like, he seems kind of pathetic.
Huh. Can you look sad directly in camera? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
Man, it'd really suck if you DNF'd and then had to immediately talk to Bob Pockrass. Like, dang, we got to get a Bob Pockrass in IndyCar.
Speaking of which, I was listening to the
Formula One.
Yeah, who is the Bob Pockrass of Formula One? There isn't one. There's
we have Kim Illman.
Who?
Ooh,
rotten vibes.
Yeah. Sorry, Bob.
Rotted vibes. I was listening to the Teardown, and at the end of the episode, Jordan and Jeff start talking about the McLaren situation, and they literally were cackling, giggling. Like, they literally were like, could you imagine that in NASCAR? Like, they literally are like, they couldn't even fathom it. They were like giggling, kicking their feet and giggling.
I have a point to bring up about that during the NASCAR segment.
Okay. Can't wait. So there was that. And by the way, if you're like a Lando Norris fan and like you listen to this podcast, I need you guys to know I have no true qualms with Lando Norris. I just think like, what is there to say? You know what I mean? Like, I could be shut up so fast when he eventually like starts turning this around and winning the championship, which is still a very real possibility in the last 8 races. And I could have egg on my face. So
egg on my face.
I could have egg on my face.
And I just want to say, when I say pathetic, and when I say
she means it so endearingly, guys. I need
it's
you to know.
Yeah, for all the podcast listeners who decide this is their first one, it's kind of my vibe. Like I tend to go for the boys in the back, pathetic. And when I say that about Lando, it's a compliment.
Her favorite team is Williams. In an
Which
Alex Albon of the way.
It doesn't have the same punch this year because Alex Albon has scored more points by himself than all of Williams last year, which isn't that hard because we were rocking with Franco and Logan Sargent.
Four, maybe 5 points. So yeah, that was
we had 4, maybe 5 races where both cars finished and started.
Love you, Williams.
Big Williams girl. I don't know.
Big Williams girls. And then last thing that you put on here, which is so funny. I'm just like, okay,
isn't it?
Off, Queen. They made this cute little collection of F1 stuff through Pottery Barn, but it's like all for kids.
Yeah, but if you think about like the race car beds, the NASCAR beds when we were younger were all the freaking rage. Imagine growing up with you're like sleeping in Charles Leclerc's Ferrari. That'd be sick. I think this is gonna do huge numbies for the youth.
I'm going to be so pissed someday when I have to buy my kid Formula One stuff and I have to be like, just pretend like they're IndyCars as I like tuck them in sleep. If you squint, that kind of looks like Alex Palou's car. Now just go to bed.
Mom, why did you turn my Ferrari into the PNC Bank Honda for Chip Ganassi? What do you mean? No, it came orange and blue. What do you mean?
No. That's how it came. Good night. It's one of the 3 red Penske cars. Now go to bed, please.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, no, keep it coming, Pottery Barn. I'm going to have to take some time out of my day someday when I have a kid, fucking stitch in an Andretti logo to half those little cars so that my kid can go to sleep with the proper open wheel racing series. But it'll do, and I can make it work.
It'll do.
Okay? It'll do. I'm like, fuck, none of these arrow screens are turning out right. I'm like stitching them on. No, it doesn't look right. No, it's not bedtime yet, okay? The arrow screens aren't perfect. Speaking of IndyCar, what is their problem? What is their problem? They came out with like a warning statement this week, and they were like, hey, so I know you guys have been so excited for that 2026 schedule, and we are still cooking on it, but there is one little piece of the puzzle that has really fallen into place in a negative way, which is that there will not be a Mexico City race. And they had to like basically get ahead of it because there has been so many people this year operating under this, like the 2026 Mexico City race is definitely happening, that I'm like, what the fuck happened? What the frick happened? I'm sorry, I'm doing so bad at this, no cussing. What the frick happened? Why is there no Mexico City race? And they were like, let's just get ahead of it before we even put out the schedule. It's not happening. What do we think?
Dumb.
Stupid. Hate it.
Stupid, idiot, dumb. I just think I knew it wasn't going to happen. I think we were pretty solid on the fact that it wasn't going to happen. Oh, yeah. I think the moment the tide shifted on, was it inside line? I was like, all right, Nathan, you convinced me. It ain't happening. But yeah, just the fact that they kind of like blamed it on the World Cup. I was like, the World Cup isn't like something we plan the year it happens. Like I knew about the World Cup.
And I don't even care about the World Cup. And I knew about it so severely and so seriously.
I just think that I think that's probably not the full truth of why it didn't happen. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised with IndyCar, especially. But I don't even think that this is the reason we don't have a schedule. I still think that they are so far behind on figuring the schedule out. I don't know if they're going to blame it all on the World Cup, because at this point, why not? But I don't know. It's just disappointing. Everything's disappointing. I'm disappointed.
I think that okay, so what do you think about the rumors that were that Indy Next driver who got cut, his dad was like a significant part of the funding for it? Do you think that had anything to do with it? Because I felt like that was when things started to become not a when this race happens, but an if this race happens. I think similarly when Liberty Media bought out a large portion of the track, and those were like within 2 weeks of each other. That's when I felt like the conversation really started to shift. And if you're not following what we're talking about, there was an Indy Next driver who was cut from Indy Next, whose dad owns like a significant portion of like advertising and like billboards in Mexico, who had like a large amount of money that was going towards having this Mexico City race, potentially when his son was no longer part of Indy Next, potentially on bad terms, his leaving of Indy Next. He was like, well, I'm not paying for any of this race. Then like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks later, we find out that Liberty Media, who owns F1, who's a large competitor of IndyCar, and I'm calling them competitors because I do believe F1 sees IndyCar now as a true competitor. They bought a significant portion of the Mexico City racetrack, thus meaning IndyCar probably would have had to pay them more than what they might have originally thought to hold a race there. And it's against F1's interest for IndyCar to be an international sport.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you think that has like, or do you think it was just a failure of IndyCar?
I think that the Liberty Media thing is kind of sticky, but it's hard for me to believe that if that driver was so tied to this Mexico race, like that there wouldn't have been great lengths to keep him.
Yeah.
Knowing how, I mean, pay drivers are a thing, even if they're poorly behaved. We like, let's be so for real. But I don't know. I think there was a lot going on. I think it was odd that we had this idea of a Mexico City race at the end of last year because when Pata Who happened at the Milwaukee Mile, and then by the end of the year, it was like, no, we're probably going to have a Mexico City race. And I was kind of like, well, that's a pretty quick turnaround. So I think from the jump, it was like, this is unlikely to happen just knowing IndyCar and how they perform. So I don't know. It's disappointing. I was excited. I was really excited at the prospect of it.
I think it's like fair to compare it to NASCAR in how long of a lead time NASCAR needed to plan something like this. It seemed so crazy that IndyCar was like, oh, we can do it in a year or less. It's like, well, how? Like NASCAR, who has even more resources than you and even more of a pull because there's like NASCAR Mexico and stuff like that. Like they needed quite a bit of time. And there was so much logistical stuff that they weren't like, we saw the challenges NASCAR had getting to Mexico. IndyCar really hadn't even started that process of stuff because they didn't even have a date. They didn't have an ability to like talk about, can you run these cars in the higher altitudes? Can you get all of these haulers down to Mexico with all of their team and their staff and their drivers? They were like, yeah, we can do all that in less than a year.
They don't even have a schedule like outside of Mexico, like a foundation for them to start making these plans on. So it's like the pieces were never there, but the words were. Mexico is coming. We're probably going to be in Mexico next year. Like the words were definitely there. The actions seem to not be. And we still don't have a 2026 schedule, which is bonkers galore to me.
I think it's at this point, it's getting to a point where like I love IndyCar. And I'm like, hey, I would like to start like booking hotels, booking flights, like getting my like March will be here before you know it. And that's when apparently this season is starting. And it's like, I would like to potentially go to St. Pete's, but like, I kind of don't want to book anything to St. Pete's because I don't know if there's other things on the schedule that I might be more interested in going to. Basically, like, it's kind of insane. Like you're definitely cutting into now like how many people will be actively making travel plans to go to these races. The longer you wait, the more you're just hoping that the local within driving distance race fan will come because you're kind of like you're exiting like the people that would be booking flights to come.
Right. Yeah. And to get local people to your racetrack, you would have to do, fair warning, you would have to advertise. We know how fun IndyCar is of that. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out when we get a schedule.
Yeah, this is getting to a point where you are, and I mean this like in a loving way. This is not how a serious sport is run. I'm sorry, you have to have a schedule by now. You have to. You're not being serious.
Like some kind of transparency. Have an expected date. Be like, okay, we've run into some issues with like X, Y, and Z. You can be kind of vague. Like communication, because at this point, IndyCar is not happening next year. Everybody knows it. There is no schedule. We have St. Pete. We have Nashville, maybe. We have the Canada race. We have the 500. Isn't there something else? I don't know. I think it's Detroit.
Do we have Nashville next year? Because we're now talking about Nashville no longer being the finale. There's rumors. I don't know. Are these rumors? How much credit do we want to give the rumor that it's going to be Laguna Seca as the finale?
There's no way it's going to be Laguna Seca. I could see it being Worldwide Technology Raceway, though.
I've heard Laguna Seca.
I was going to say, I saw it on Twitter, and so I immediately said, this one's not real, but I think Worldwide Technology Raceway could be possible. No, there's no way it could be Laguna Seca, because you can't, it just wouldn't work. That being said.
Well, Laguna Seca used to be the finale.
When?
I think 2019-ish.
A minute ago.
Remember we put on TikTok that it was the Super Bowl of IndyCar, and people in the comments were like, it used to be.
Yeah.
You had to be there.
I don't think Laguna.
Go ahead.
I don't think Laguna Seca. I think I like it when the season ends on an oval. I really do, especially because I think our best races this year were ovals. See, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna talk about oval racing in IndyCar. We're gonna do it again. I think our best races this season, like viewership wise, they were ovals. Like statistically speaking, they were ovals. So I think ending it on a road course, even as iconic as Laguna Seca, I think would hurt. But there's just not as much like potential for other drivers to win. I'm fully anticipating an Alex Palou dominant year next year. It's like, what, you're really gonna put the ball on the tee for him and then scooch him into the batter's box and go, all right, swing, bud. It's like, no, like, do something.
I have not heard Worldwide Technology Center. Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Center.
Where did you hear this?
I have literally no idea. It would have had to have been Instagram or a podcast, because I'm not on Twitter.
So we both, though, have heard that it's not Nashville. Yet Nashville is continuously talking about their role as the finale of IndyCar.
I just feel like they were extended, though. Am I losing my mind? I'll look.
Yeah, I don't know if they are selling tickets for Nashville or anything. I will say though that Scott Borchetta, the guy who basically owns the Nashville race, this year it was sponsored by his bourbon company. In the past, I think it's been sponsored by his record label. He was speaking at the press conference before this year's race and kind of talking about how much they're investing in continuing to be the finale of the IndyCar season. But I also have heard that Laguna Seca, or it may be Worldwide Technology Raceway, is just simply because of how things are laying out with the schedule, with World Cup events, with other sporting events that they have to work around, that it got moved, and that was just the best weekend to have it, not to have it at Laguna Seca or wherever else. But I'm no, you have to keep, and this is what's also annoying. People want to be able to identify when a race is going to be in the future. So you cannot keep switching it around. If I loved going to Nashville this year, which I did, I would like to know that next year around Labor Day, I should be planning a trip to Nashville again. And if you're telling me it's not going to be around there and it's now going to be in like June or something like that, and like every year the finale is going to be somewhere new, do we like that? I don't know if I like. I mean, that's what like NASCAR is going to. People like the finale being somewhere different every year, but I think in like IndyCar, it doesn't really translate the same way. Like, keep it in a place for a little while.
I think we could definitely get to the point where there is like a rotation, I guess, of finales. The thing that's different in Nashville is in NASCAR has the playoffs. So obviously the finale holds a little bit more weight than it does in IndyCar, where it's like we had a champion decided a couple races ago. Nashville does have a 3-year contract. It is until 2026. It doesn't say that it's going to be the finale. I don't know. I think I don't dislike the idea of Laguna Seca changing dates. I don't dislike the idea of like a different race being able to be on Labor Day, because I think you're going to just get more fans to whatever race it is, like, period, if it's that 3-day weekend. But I just love finishing the season on an oval. That's my thing. If they want to do it at Gateway, hell yeah. They want to do it at Milwaukee Mile, hell yeah. They want to go to the Kentucky Speedway the way it is,
sure,
hell yeah. But it's just like
whatever other made
you want to go to
we want to go.
Chicagoland,
Chicagoland, real.
McDonaldland, like wherever you want to go. Candyland,
Iowa, not real.
You want to go to Knoxville, whatever you want, as long as it's an oval. But I don't know. I guess do whatever you want. Just give me a schedule at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we say all this. I feel like Nashville is the best place for the finale, and I would be surprised if I open the 2026 schedule and it's not the finale.
Do you
I
think
that it is the perfect finale?
Do you think it's the best place for the finale because of the city and like the nightlife, or because of the on-track racing?
I think that the finale should be in a destination people want to travel to. You know what I'm saying? Like a party city in a way, like a place that people want to go. No offense. Like, I don't think anybody wants to go to like mid-Ohio as like a vacation destination. It's fun for a race, but like, what do you do afterwards? Or like Iowa, or like even Gateway. Like, I'm like, what am I going to do after the race? There is something to be said about like a finale having like a party city vibe, I think is beneficial.
You don't think it'd be more beneficial to have that party vibe? Because the vibe is going to be in Nashville, period, whether it's the finale or not. Like, having it midway through the season to get people interested? No. You think that Nashville is Nashville because it is the finale?
Yes.
Interesting.
And maybe I'm just saying that because like I don't know any other way. You know what I mean? But like, I definitely think that like the people within IndyCar, the fans, the teams, like everybody can enjoy being in Nashville because the season is over. In a way that
what about
not.
Like St. Pete?
I've never been. I've heard St. Pete is fun.
Yeah. I think this kind of vibe happens in every city that's like an actual city. So I think like even if you put St. Pete as the last one on the schedule, which I think would be insane, I think it would have the same vibes. But I don't know.
I've never been to Laguna Seca. I don't really know what the vibe is around Laguna Seca. But I don't know. I definitely think that Nashville offers something special in the way of like people can easily travel there from the Midwest and stuff like that, which is where predominantly a lot of IndyCar fans are. They can go, they can make a vacation out of it. They can enjoy a pretty good race because it's on an oval, so it's a little more unpredictable what's going to happen. And then we can all be on our merry way, go enjoy Nashville downtown, go home, and wait 6 months for IndyCar to come back. I don't know if I wasn't here when Laguna Seca was the finale. And maybe that's what happened then too. I don't know. I could be talking out of my butt, but I think that Nashville has gone out of their way to make themselves like the finale. It would be interesting to see whether the commitment level from Borchetta, Bourbon, or whoever would be the same if they were just another oval in the middle of the season with like no attention and no advertisement and no promotion. Nobody in the stands.
Yeah, I think it'll change when it goes back to being a street course. I think you'll see a lot less people attend when it goes back to being a street course. If it does, but it kind of sounds like that's their end goal.
I don't think it ever will. I think that they need to like
You don't think so?
That Nashville will go back to a street course? No. Because it sounds like it will always be an issue of like working around the football schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they've done it before.
And like, that's why I also think that this DC street race thing, I mean, like, again, I could look like an idiot with egg on my face. But like, I genuinely think like street courses, like, especially in true cities, like not like what they're doing in Canada, where it's like kind of a suburb type area, like in a true city, to pull off a street race, like it requires logistically so many things to go right. And every couple of years, something will be an issue. Like we're seeing in Detroit or whatever with like the convention center. Isn't that going to be an issue in like a year or two? Like, I think that that is an issue. That why do that when you have a perfectly functioning oval that you could just make the true, like, this is where the national race is. Some consistency, especially in the first like 5 to 10 years of a race existing, I think is important. I don't understand how they're going to do this DC street race too. People keep saying that is like going to happen. I don't understand.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's too much brain power for IndyCar. If they weren't able to make a race happen at a road course, like a course that already exists, I would be shocked if we see a bunch of new street courses next year.
And like, I genuinely just don't think people understand, like, if they don't live in this DC area, like, I don't know where you would put it. Like, I genuinely am like, where to like be able to like close off all those roads and everything like that. And then not only that, make the roads like raceable to an extent, like that requires a lot of time and effort. I'm not getting where that would come from. So the other piece of IndyCar news that we had besides schedule, Robert Schwartzman had to come out and make a statement. What's the deal with this, MJ?
He made an Instagram story statement, which sometimes a swing and a miss, but Robert's hit pretty well. And he was essentially like,
hey, listen, not everybody's been nailing them, but his was pretty good. You know what I mean? Some people's they come out and you're like, what are we talking about? I don't even know what we're addressing right now. Not his
N- insight, not a chat GPT M- or a weird colon anywhere. But he essentially had to come out and be like,
work chat GPT.
No, he said, I'll speak from the heart. I'm a writer. I'm a rapper. I'll be fine. Apparently, and I had heard this rumor, once again, not from like a direct source, just the whole Robert Schwartzman is unhappy at Prema. Robert Schwartzman is unhappy at Prema. Robert Schwartzman is unhappy at Prema, with like nobody pointing to anything.
Unhappy in America.
Yeah, he's unhappy with the like American racing series. He's not having a good time, which I was like, I would be shocked to find out that's the truth when he's been losing his mind on ovals every single weekend. But sure, maybe. But he essentially came out and he was like, I don't know where y'all are getting that. I'm having like a really good time. This has been a really fun time. Please stop saying that. It was just really funny. And then Will Buxton reposted it on his story and he put a Beatles song behind it, and that is him officially backing Robert Schwartzman, and he is officially against Louis Foster. That this is not a rumor. This is me speaking truth right now.
Louis Foster.
I love him.
Can we talk about Will Buxton's infatuation with Robert Schwartzman? At what point is it like, even like, how is this allowed? Like, I don't really understand how like unbiased commentators are supposed to be. Like, we've always made fun of Townsend Bell and his infatuation with Santino. I would say like equally infatuated is Will Buxton with Robert Schwartzman. I remember when that kid got the pole at the Indy 500, Will Buxton himself was down there like kissing the ground he walked on and was like posting, being like, "This is my son. I mean, not really, but like kind of in a way, this is my son." And I was like, okay, way to act like you were rooting for anyone else, apparently. And he like is obsessed with Prema. Like he did that whole launch event for Prema. And then why did he repost this? Like what did this have to do with you, Will Buxton? Like, why did you repost this? I don't get it. I'm fine with it, but I don't get it.
I think it's because they both came over from the Formula Series at the same time. So he's like, guess what? We're in this together. We're doing this together. We were sent off to the same summer camp together from the same like rich prep school. So I guess we're friends now. And I'm here for it because I think Robert Schwartzman, funny guy.
He needs a pal. He needs a pal.
He needs, I think everyone, the way he talks to people, I'm like, you have no stranger danger, and it freaks me out. Like, you can't be spilling your guts to every single person you meet. But it's worked for him. Mm-hmm.
I think that we might have started this rumor on accident because we posted that clip, and it wasn't even the full clip. I think we trimmed it down where we asked him what he wanted the IndyCar schedule to be, even if it was like made up or whatever, like unrealistic. And he just named the entire F1 schedule. And we even
That's all he knows.
We even got a comment on our video that was like, does he just want this to be F1? I think people, they read into it too much and they were like, he misses F1.
He yearns for the mines. I was seeing this rumor though before that from that one, there's like an Instagram page that just like they just say kind of whatever they want and they go rumor and I'm like, okay, yeah, no.
Can we please?
That's so true. Rumor. We kind of.
Robert Schwartzman said he would like IndyCar more if it were F1. Rumor. Yeah, we kind of.
No, I feel like that's what you did with the Worldwide Technology Raceway thing. By the way, I have not seen that anywhere. I think you made.
Well, and I hadn't seen the Laguna Seca thing, so I think you and I are just on opposite sides of
the rumors.
I guess Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah,
the rumor mill. You and I are looking through the mill at each other, but we're on different sides.
We're like grinding corn at the mill with like a little water wheel.
I was going to say, so when we say rumor mill, let's get into it for a second. Because I'm thinking of like a mill, like the circle that like... With the water on it. So it's like, what is... So a rumor mill... Okay, so guys, let's break it down a little bit. So when someone says rumor mill, what they're insinuating is it's just... We're just in like recycling the same over and over, and then eventually something happens.
Eventually something's correct, and then like somebody along the water wheel was correct, but like lots of other people were also contributing to the water wheel, but like they were not correct. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's that one bucket that's gonna hit.
But the thing is that sucks so much is that bucket, like they always then get to be like, I was right about this one thing, which means the next thing you're going to listen to me a little bit more intently. But then it's like, you're just another bucket this time. It doesn't carry over from the last time you were the correct bucket.
You're not an IndyCar insider. You're just playing, you're playing darts in the dark and you just happen to hit a bullseye. It's like, well.
I think we need to start doing that more, MJ. We gotta embrace our role now as IndyCar insiders. We are throwing darts, bro. We're throwing mad darts.
Turn the lights off.
Darts.
Give me the darts.
We're one of the boys. What can I say? We're one of the boys.
I don't feel like...
What?
I was just gonna go on a tangent about how I think dart throwing is pretty feminine in my personal opinion. Because what is dart throwing? It's like usually at a bar. Okay. You got a drink in a hand. You got darts in the other hand. And you know what you're doing while you're throwing darts? Talking shit. And you know who is famously bad at talking shit and doing other things? Oh, can I say shit? Talking smack. Talking smack rule. And throwing darts.
I didn't make this
I take it back. Should we just cut and start over?
The whole podcast? No, probably not. We're like 45 minutes in, so probably not.
I love playing darts with the girlies. I really do. And so I feel
I've never played darts.
you don't like playing darts?
I don't like how sharp it is. I just have like a lot of like thoughts of like what if I accidentally turned around and threw this at somebody? And it's like I'm not going to, but like I think about that.
I've been hit with darts before. It's truly not that bad. I've been hit in the face with darts. I've been hit in the hand with darts because I love playing darts with the girlies. But sometimes the girlies get a little squirrely.
MJ, I've never done this, and I'm not going to throw darts at you. I know you want me to so bad, but I won't.
Please, MJ, stop asking me to throw darts at you. We're trying to film a podcast, please.
Yeah, I think that you have just like an affinity for sharp objects, which is why you like darts and hockey. And I don't like either of those things for that reason.
I think we should play darts. The next time you come to Iowa, we can play darts. It'll be fun. I have a place. Okay. It'll be fun. It's like in the back corner.
If you ever come to DC, I've always wanted to go to like there's like the bars where you can axe throw.
Axe throwing is kind of scary to me.
Oh, now we have a fucking line that we draw. Okay, interesting.
That would be fun though. It's like laps down. It's a new segment. It's just like it's just activities.
Activities. We can do things.
We go to Dave and Buster's.
I've never gone to Top Golf and I want to.
We can go to we have a I know. I'm getting sick too. Me and Val getting sick. Do you think maybe Val gave it to me over the internet? I have been engaging with his content, and so maybe that's how I got sick.
That's how sickness travels famously.
Mm-hmm.
Can I talk about my last thing on the IndyCar doc? You're not really going to care about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. So Zach Brown, he issues like his fucking State of the Union on IndyCar, which I'm honestly, part of me, I'm like, who died and made you king? Like, what do you mean? Why do you get to? I'll give a fucking State of the Union on IndyCar. Like, who?
You should.
Like, Dude, I should pitch that as like the next 4 laps video for ATYL State of the Union on IndyCar.
That would be good.
It's like bleak, a little bleak. I'm not gonna lie, some of it's bleak.
I write that down.
But he writes like this like open letter, Zach Brown, as like he wrote one for F1, and then he writes one for IndyCar, and it's like. In IndyCar, I feel like he gets a little bit more philosophical because he thinks he has more sway, maybe. So he's like, this is what I want to see. Be the change you want to see in the world. And it's just Zach Brown writing an open letter and posting it on Twitter, I guess. But there's some interesting things from this. First of all, at the beginning, he shouts out Pato and Christian Lundgaard and Tony Kanaan for all of their success this year. Who do you think might be missing from that, notably?
That's crazy.
I literally was like, he went out of his way to also shout out Tony Kanaan. Like, he was like, so Pato finished like 2nd, and like Christian Lundgaard finished 5th, and like Tony has been so amazing this year. And anyways.
None for Gretchen Wieners.
No, literally does not even put Nolan Siegel's name in this letter once. And then he proceeds to say, next year, our plan is to have all 3 cars in the top 10, which to me, I read that as like, that is a tangible, measurable fucking goal that if Nolan Siegel does not meet, he has like actively in a way, like not achieved what McLaren's expectation for him is. I think that that's kind of like crazy that I'm now involved in this as the reader. Like, I didn't want to know what Nolan Siegel's requirement was to keep his job, but now I do, I think. And I think it's if he doesn't make the top 10, which is crazy because what is he ranked this year? Like, what did he finish? I feel like kind of far from 10.
I would say probably not top 10.
Yeah, I would say pretty far from 10. So that's like kind of, okay, he finished, I'm scrolling. Whoa.
17th?
Worse.
20th?
22nd.
There's no way. Yeah. Did he crash at Nashville? No, it was right before Nashville. Oh, man. Nolan.
Yeah. And so, like, for me, I think that is like kind of a crazy expectation for Nolan to go from being 22nd in standings to at least 10. there's a lot of other midfield drivers that he would presumably have to be above for that to happen. That's crazy.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, but it's probably just like have it in writing somewhere. So does Nolan know he needs to get in the top 10?
Nolan probably read that letter and was like, fuck me. Oh my God.
Oof.
You want me to be 10th or like higher? I mean, like my thing is like, okay, this is going to be hard because I think Nolan is a nice guy. And I know that you like Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
The rumor was that Will Power went and talked to McLaren, and McLaren was like, sorry, we're keeping Nolan rather than signing you. And like Tony Kanaan has gone on to say like he would bet his job on Nolan Siegel. What are we not seeing of Nolan Siegel that is so magical? Like they don't need his like money that much, right? Like they have sponsors.
I would say they need his money quite a bit. But just remember, this is his first full season in IndyCar. So I do think that there still is a little bit of grace to be given. But that being said, it's like some of the rookie mistakes were issues. But like him getting taken out at the 500. Oh, wait, no, that was...
He crashed on his own.
No, he did that. There were times, though. I mark my words. There were times where
he crashed on his own.
He does have a lot of rookie mistakes, but I think there is potential with him, especially like using him as like branding going forward. Where, I mean, who else are you gonna bring in? Who else are you gonna bring in for that price?
Will Power.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen.
I would bring in Will Power probably. If Will Power came and asked me about it.
You think Will Power would have gone to McLaren over Andretti?
Apparently he came to them first. Maybe because of like the
I bet
the
he went to literally everybody. I bet he went to every single owner on that grid and was like, what do you give me? If I'm available, what are you going to give me? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't go knocking on RLL, which was probably the most like traction they've gotten in their shop since they were raided by the FBI.
This again. I'm not editing this episode, so don't get started on it.
Can't stand RLL.
I don't know. I'm so mad. Like, it's so frustrating because like I like Nolan Siegel, but like when I'm just looking at like the numbers on paper, it's like 22nd is too far down when your teammate is 2nd and 5th. Like that's crazy. You can't. You have to be like 15. That's the lowest you can be.
This is just another situation where I'm like, he really, I think, could have benefited from more time in Indy Next. They pulled him up because they kicked out David Malukas, and then also,
and
who else? Callum Ilott, and then also Teo Porcher, who is employed now. Congratulations, Teo.
Congratulations, Teo. I think he was supposed to get a Formula E seat, and then that fell through, and now he's not in Formula E. He has a full-time job.
He's in WEC.
WEC, yeah. So poor Teo, sounds like another job fell through, and now at least he has a different job.
But he's on a French team. That's awesome for him.
Big
and apparently everyone is fans. I don't know. Connor's been trying to get me in on like the WEC memes, but apparently everyone ends up being fans of this team. I've never heard it pronounced though, so I'm not going to pronounce it. But I think there's potential still for Nolan Siegel. But I mean, David Malukas is going to have a Penske seat. So can I be mad about Nolan Siegel being in a McLaren seat?
It doesn't bother me that much. What bothers me is that like McLaren talks all this talk of, well, we have like all these high performing drivers. And then it's like not addressing the fucking elephant in the room of like, well, you have one driver that's 22nd in standings. Like, I don't like the like way McLaren tries to act like they are on the same level. Like, that they're that bitch when it comes to teams. Like they don't need, they have such great drivers, you know what I mean? And it's like, you have a paid driver and that's okay. And but like, stop acting like you're going to have all 3 drivers in the top 10 next year. That's not going to happen.
McLaren famously across all their series, does this thing where they refuse to acknowledge any weakness. They refuse to make any decisions and acknowledge any weakness, which is why we see what happens in Formula One. That's kind of going on with Nolan. They refuse to be like, he had a bad season. It's just not, like, right now we are absolutely not in the place we want to be. He's going to get another chance, but we'll, like, take it from there. They, like, do this really roundabout way of, like, acknowledging it, or like saying I want all 3 drivers to be in the top 10 is acknowledging that one of the drivers was not in the top 10, but, like, not being like, we had a difficult season, would like it to improve. It's interesting. It is interesting how that conversation just kind of continues throughout the 3 series. But Nolan, I'm rooting for you. I think you can do it. In fact, I think you could probably dethrone Mr. Award. That's my prediction for next season. It's going to be Christian and Nolan.
I think that people probably said, like, I think that there's lots of drivers that early on in their time at IndyCar, people have said that they're underperforming. Like, I think, like, I remember, like, this, like, similar-ish type conversations happening around Kiffin Simpson last year-ish. Like,
100%.
And, like, I think he has really proven himself this year and has done extraordinarily well. And I think a lot of people that were talking about Kiffin now have had to be like, oops, I was wrong. Like, maybe he wasn't, like, the world's most talented driver right off the bat. But
very
bad.
With
time, he has shown a lot of improvements. So I would love for that to be the case for Nolan next year. I just think top 10 is a crazy goal that I do not think will meet. I have my own personal goal for Nolan. That means nothing because I'm not Zach Brown. I would love to see you 15 or higher.
I think that's fair. And there's been glimmers of moments this season where it's like Nolan's performing well, he's doing very well, but then he has, like, these, like, rookie mistakes you just can't be having. So I think top 15, Nolan, if you're listening, top 15, and you're golden. Something also I think that Kiffin benefits from that Nolan doesn't have is, like, okay, maybe this is controversial, I don't know, like, strong veteran leadership.
He has like Scott Dixon he's going to help Kiffin. He doesn't care. He's going to help Kiffin.
He benefits from having Scott Dixon and Alex Palou, who is now 4-time champion. Whereas, and, like, not to say, like, Potter doesn't have his own achievements. I just don't know if he steps into that leadership role. I don't know if McLaren even cares if there's a leadership role within McLaren. But I think if he was set up like Kiffin was, where he had that kind of veteran wisdom, maybe things would be different for him this season. But I don't know. That's just, I think, something I hope for him in the future.
We're not at the place right now where Pato is probably offering that much advice to Nolan, whereas, like, Alex and Scott, they'll offer advice to Kiffin. They don't care. Like, they have won their championships. Like, they will win their championships with Kiffin slightly improving his standings. Whereas Pato, I think, is still in, like, he's still fighting. He doesn't have the 500 win. He doesn't have the championship. Like, he's still fighting for himself and his own career achievements. He's not in the business of offering advice or helping Nolan or Christian, especially not Christian, because Christian is, like, he just got here and he's trying to prove himself against Pato. Nolan is just, like, hanging out there.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. That's a good point, MJ. Anything else on IndyCar?
I hope you guys come back next season.
I hope you guys are real. We're talking about Nolan making top 10 next year. Top 10 in what? Zach Brown? Oh, well, he did. I guess I could also say. He did also say that he thinks the schedule is too short. He thinks that there should be a race in the Northeast. He also said the new car, when they build it, needs to be loud. I was like, okay, Zach Brown.
Don't care if it's loud. You know what car is loud? The fucking... Oh, damn it. I went so long without saying the F word. Shoot. The gosh darn Gen 7 car. It's so loud, and it can't pass for gosh darn anything on some of these short tracks. So maybe being loud isn't... They are loud. No, they're definitely... I mean, they're louder than the F1 cars. They're not as loud as, like, the sports cars, but they are loud. I want the cars to just be able to race and not shut off. Is that too much to ask? We have to ask for them to be loud. I want them to make rain noises as they drive by. Shut up.
I just feel like I went to like the IndyCar races this year. I never had a problem with like, oh, are the cars even running? I can't hear them.
No, they're loud.
What are we talking about?
It's
They're loud.
fine.
They're loud.
Don't bring this weird F1 narrative over to IndyCar. Like, we're fine. We're fine. But that's all I have on IndyCar.
Yeah. Zach Brown, we are open to consulting you next year if you need help with this State of the Union, because this one wasn't that great, to be honest. I didn't like it. He also did talk about the Fox viewership numbers, and he did be like, women are cool, and also other people. I was like, okay.
Great.
We said that on our podcast. We didn't have to write a letter.
Maybe we should start doing like weekly State of the Unions for IndyCar. Just like nothing, no news has come out, and we're like, Robert Schwartzman likes his job.
We should write a letter for the state of the podcast for our 1 year.
Oh, interesting. I'll write that down.
State of the podcast. And it's just us being like, we go to races and they allow us being like, which is crazy. We post vlogs sometimes, and also podcast episodes on Tuesdays now. We're a Tuesday podcast now.
Tuesday podcast now. We no longer do the we changed our branding a little bit. We no longer do the That's What I Said post. Do you remember when we were doing that weekly? The That's What I Said post?
Yeah, that was so crazy.
That was insane. But it was really funny.
Fan. Yeah, we used to, instead of like doing like, we used to do clips, but then we also like were like, well, we need graphic content. And so I used to force MJ to make like little graphics of like things that we said that we think were funny, but it's like,
and they were
out of context. It's like
incredibly out of context. It was fun. It was fun for what we were when we were that. We'll bring it back.
Yeah.
It just says,
it was called,
rumor.
It was called And I've Always Said That. That was like what it was called, was that And I've Always Said That. Yeah, that's so funny, because that was like our bit, was that we used to always say And I've Always Said That. And we always still do say that. It's just not like really a bit anymore. It's just who we are.
No, it's life. Yeah.
It's the life we live. Okay, NASCAR. So we were going into this week, Saturday race, night race at Bristol, America's night race. Very important race, cutoff race for playoffs. And there was lots of conversation going into this race, lots of hubbub. The first one, you discovered you could switch pit crews. Speak on it.
Yeah, that's it. You can switch pit crews. The number 77 pit crew of Carson Hocevar and the number 48 pit crew of Alex Bowman switched because they had just been absolutely abysmal for Alex Bowman in the previous races. And so they switched. And I took to the public and I said, this has been an option this whole time. I've never gotten more hate, by the way, in my comments than when I mentioned A, women, people hate that, or B, Alex Bowman. People really hate Alex Bowman. I didn't realize. But so they traded, and then people enlightened me in the comments and said that apparently this had happened in like 2013. I don't know. Mid-race, they switched the pit crews between the.
You gotta go.
Oh my God. I'm too much of an empath. I would have never been able to watch that, because you should have seen how I was looking up clips, how sad these guys on Jimmy Johnson's car were, that they were like, get the fuck out of here. Fuck. Get the heck out of here.
You're like, let me switch it up. Instead of fuck, I'll say shit.
That really would have hurt my feelings if I saw that happen.
No, I probably would have hated to see that as well. I think that I'll give you another one that I'm sure people will be like, you didn't know that? I didn't realize that Spire and Hendrick were that close.
I didn't either.
I was like,
no.
Since when were you guys that close that you were like, okay, so we're going to take Carson Hocevar's entire pit crew, by the way. Here's some randoms from Alex Bowman's pit crew. If I was Carson, I'd be like, so fuck me then. Jesus. What?
And then he had a really good race. So I was like, yeah, I'm careful. So I was like, the pit crew doesn't like Alex Bowman. They're the ones sabotaging him. The same way Lando's getting sabotaged in Formula One. Is Alex Bowman the Lando Norris of NASCAR? Thoughts?
Yeah,
Everyone discuss that in the comments.
Discuss it in the comments. Funny how the moment they were on Carson's car, all of a sudden they were fine. They could change tires perfectly fine. Maybe when they were over on Alex Bowman's car, somebody, Kyle Larson, was unplugging all the tire guns. That was the problem. But when they were over with
incredibly
Carson,
possible.
Kyle Larson doesn't have long enough arms to reach all the way over to the Spire pit box to unplug their guns. So suddenly they can do tire changes. Funny how that works. What do you think about that? Discuss in the comments.
Interesting. Discuss in the comments. Let us know. Let us know who you think the saboteur is, and let us know. Actually, don't. I was going to say why everyone hates Alex. Yeah, it is Kyle Larson. He's sabotaging Lando too. But we've talked about this. If you guys have been here for long enough, you know our conspiracy theories. And then another big conversation headed into the weekend was tire dag. Or do we want to talk about the Bristol walkout songs before we talk about the get into the tire of it all?
Tire dag because I was listening to the teardown from the week before, and they were like Bristol next week, like tire dag, and they were like, we always talk about tire dag, and then we get to all of like the practices and stuff, and we realize it's like not really gonna be that big of a deal, and we just like hyped it up for no reason. And so then when everybody was like, there's no tire dag, I was like, dude, right on the money. It's not even going to matter. Why are we talking about tire dag? Just as we thought, nothing's changing. The tires are not going to wear. This is going to be a stupid, dumb race. I'm so tired of being lied to by NASCAR insiders. Because I take your guys' word as gospel, and you told me that the tires weren't going to dag at all. How does this happen? How is it during practice nothing happens to the tires? And then during the race, all of a sudden they drive 2 laps and they're falling apart. What's happening there? How does that work? Somebody tell me.
I can tell you.
Okay, tell me, MJ, because I feel like I'm being lied to by the establishment.
It's the temperature is the situation that's happening. They practice during the day.
When it gets hot, tires dag. What? Hot rubber melt and hot. Duh,
it's
everybody
different.
know.
That's different.
Rubber melt hot.
This is cold tire dig. But yeah, because we had practice, and there was essentially like we saw Brad Keselowski looking at the tires, and he said that Bobby Pockrass said that there was going to be no tire dig, and then we get to the race, major tire dig. So the whole fear of this weekend, and the whole fear of this weekend was that it was going to end up being like the spring race where Kyle Larson just led the entire thing. It was going to be a total snoozer, yada, yada, yada. So they were like, all right, Goodyear, NASCAR's not going to fix the car. Bristol's not going to repave the track. It's actually entirely up to you to make this a good race. And so they brought these soft, luscious, luxurious, bouncy right sets of tires, right sets of tires. No, and that's what they were. You saw them, dude. You saw them, and you just kind of like look at them, and you're like, ooh, supple, sensitive.
No. Is it too late to restart the podcast? I think that everything has gone awry.
No, you get what I mean.
Like that.
No, tires are sexy. We just have to like embrace it, dude.
Embrace your natural. Dude, everybody knows the front right tire in specific. Look at that thing. Look at it.
Sexiest tire. And no, I'm just kidding.
I could go on for so long about this. I have so many jokes coming to mind. None of them.
I know. It's like,
let's move along.
It's like I can't say the F word. Can I make a joke about a tire going down? Being like the right front's most likely to go down. Anyways, as I was saying, As I was saying.
I can keep going. Keep moving. I'm warning you. I have worse,
Okay.
I have worse jokes.
So essentially, everything, all the pressure was put on Goodyear to make these tires. And what did they do? They did exactly what we asked of them. They made these gooey gosh darn tires. And even though we didn't see any of the dig in practice or quali, yes?
2 hours ago, IndyCar posted all will be revealed soon, and there's a blurry 2026 schedule in the background. These fuckers have a schedule, and this podcast is going to be irrelevant tomorrow. Whatever.
Shoot.
Keep going.
Whatever.
Keep talking about this supple, juicy tire. I'm listening.
Yeah, so we get into the race, and we're kind of coming into the race being like, there is not going to be any tire dig based on what we've seen. It is going to be a little bit colder, but I'm still thinking there's no tire dig. All of these cars were set up for a race where there was not really going to be any tire dig. And then about 35 laps in, we hear they're pitting for tires. I lost my mind. I said, are you saying, now be honest with me, Lee Diffie, are you saying that there's tire wear? And he goes, tire wear? It's everywhere. Do you see these marbles? And we had a race on our hand, baby.
We had a race on our hand. But first they had to do the walkout. The race was not ready yet. They had to do the walkout. Now, if you guys have been around when we were a fake podcast, the Bristol walkout means a lot to us. That was the first venture we had into maybe making real content about NASCAR, I feel like. And it was us voicing our opinion about the Bristol walkout songs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this year, I have some thoughts. What can I say? I think that some people are really, really set up to fail with this whole Bristol walkout situation. And here's my thing. They choose very unfortunate times to play within the songs. They're not playing the best part of the song. So when you're picking your Bristol walkout song, you have to basically pick a song that's going to be perfect at any point in the song that they choose to play, because they're not going to play it from like a timestamp for you, which I think is setting them up for failure. Like, for example,
I think they play the chorus.
No, they don't.
If it's not short.
Because, like, for example, like Carson Husvar, he picked Ride the Dente. Tell me why this man is walking out to the verse of Ride the Dente. Who knows the verse of Ride the Dente? Nobody. Get to the Ride the Dente part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, it is like a 30-second jingle. You don't really have that kind of wiggle room.
That's what you would think. Wrong. There's a verse, bro. There's a whole verse from the beginning of the commercial.
I've seen the commercial.
No, I'm upset because it's like, I just think like there were so many people, they were like set up to fail. Yeah, I think that was a big oof. What do you think about some of these songs? Okay. Christopher Bell, It's My Life. Didn't he have like kind of a corny type song last year? I feel like he always kind of goes with like the Bon Jovi ass type song. You know what I mean?
I think it fits him.
Yeah. I thought War Pigs by Black Sabbath for Alex Bowman, I was like, let's go. You know what I mean? I was like, let's go. He's trying to win this race. I was like hyped by that. Shabuzi. William Byron walked out to a Shabuzi song. What do we think about that? Pro?
What one was it?
Anti? My King?
I don't know it.
Deep Cut. Yeah, why would you go with a deep cut Shabuzi song? Like, let's go with the hits.
At least it's not performative. I feel like some of these were, like, I feel like the Goofy Goober one, that's performative.
You think that? I don't think that's performative at all. Goofy Goober was used.
I know it's performative because I recently found out that Batman is my age. And if I were doing it, it would be performative.
You think Austin Cindric is too old to be doing Goofy Goober?
Yes.
But what song would Austin Cindric use, really? It has to be a bit goofy. And that's a lot of pressure on him.
I could see him walking out to like an Elton John song. Something a little a little dancey, a little poppy. I think the Goofy Goober thing is fine, but this is what, like his third time doing it. I like it, but I'm just like, I know what you're doing. You're pandering.
Yeah.
And it works, but you're pandering.
Okay. I'm surprised by that. I'm genuinely surprised by that. What do you think about Corey Haim using a Limp Bizkit song?
I love Limp Bizkit. I don't know anything about Corey Haim. It might be his vibe. Although Limp Bizkit put out new music on Friday. I'm surprised he didn't want to choose the song Making Love to Morgan Wallen.
Sorry, that's a song that they wrote and put out and produced and they sang?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give us a little taste? Do you know any of the lyrics, any of the words?
I'm 100% positive you've heard the lyrics on TikTok this week.
Is it like ironic, or are they actually like pro?
It's
like,
Limp Bizkit. No, it's
I'm
no.
not familiar with them.
Oh, no. It's ironic. They're making fun of his music.
That's good. Okay. I think that the best of them was the Law and Order theme song for Denny Hamlin.
I agree. And then he introduced himself into them.
He's him. Sorry.
I thought it was funny. I'm pro cringe, especially when it comes to Denny Hamlin. Pro cringe. So when he did that, it was less cringe in my personal opinion than some of the drivers who actually tried to announce themselves. I hate that they have to announce themselves.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Daniel Suarez. It was so endearing.
Yeah, he's like, come on, I can't hear you.
Let's go, boys and girls. I was like, yeah. He said girls. That's me.
That's me. No, my thing with like the drivers having to introduce themselves, and I'm so glad you brought it up because this is the other point where I think that they're kind of like setting them up, is like, what is the reason for not just having like an announcer announce them? Like, I just think like that would be so much cooler if like they came out to a hype song, they waved, and then there was like a big announcer voice that was like, Daniel Suarez. But like they don't do that. So instead, like most of the drivers, they don't even want to do this. They're not public speakers. They did not go to community college and take a mandatory public speaking class, which I think they should have to do, by the way, separate point. And they just go up there and the mic is turned like way down. And they're like, hey, what's up? I drive the number 60 and I'm Ryan Preece. And it's like, no, I don't want that. I want to root and holler and cheer for Ryan Preece. I need the big announcer voice that's like, Ryan Preece.
And the microphone is never at the right height for literally any of them. Like Tyler Reddick came out, he had to drop it all the way down. Carson Hocevar was like leaning into the microphone. He's like, when do I announce it? I was like, great. Yeah. This is off to a great start.
I felt bad. He had to like issue like an apology kind of, I saw today. And some random TikTok comment, I found Carson Hocevar being like, I didn't know if they were going to like stop the music and then I say something, or if I just say it over the music. I was like, see, this is crazy. Like, why do they have to do it themselves?
Not well organized. Yeah.
No. Would you, if you had to do like the announcing yourself, would you kind of do what most of the drivers do, where you just like kind of act like you're, because you don't want to like lean too much into it, so you just kind of act like you're too cool for the whole thing and you're just like, what's up, I'm MJ, thanks for coming? Or would you be like,
thanks for having me? I really hate speaking in front of people, so I'd do like a Justin Haley where he's like, Justin Haley number 7. I'd be like, MJ
like,
number 7
out.
Literally, no, but they did. They tried to take him out. They're like, you did too well in practice. We got to get rid of you.
I think like so fun fact about me, I used to do pageants when I was younger. And so I think like I couldn't help myself. Like I would be like, from Southwest Michigan, hailing from the southern corner of the state, my name is Andrea Bear, contestant number 6. I do like that Miss Universe video where it's like, Frank! Frank!
God, that would be so good.
I would do it. I can't help myself.
I think that's what they need. Like, I think that's the energy you have to make this not super cringe.
Frank!
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I can't even direct you to it because, like, what do you search? Franck meme? You know what I mean? It's like you'll never be able to find it. And you'll just have to take my word for it. It's a pretty funny meme. I don't know. I think that's just what I would have to do. I can't help myself. I would just have to serve
I respect
way
that.
harder than everyone else. You know what? Let me do the Bristol announcement.
I would like it, yeah, if you did the pageant announcement for every single one of them.
Yeah. No, when I used to do pageants, it was so funny. They used to they would read these bios while we're on stage doing our walk, and they were always so weird. And I just what are you getting out of this? They'd be like, with brown hair and green eyes, Andrea is the president of the student council. I'm like, well, my eye color doesn't really have anything to do with that, but thanks for bringing it up. I do have green eyes, and they're beautiful. Thanks for saying it live on stage so everyone can hear. I would make all the drivers submit a bio. It would have their GPA on it just because I think that'd be funny. They'd be like,
you would just have to say graduated or didn't graduate. Yeah.
Carson Osavar did online school, presumably graduated, unconfirmed. Number 77, Carson Osavar. Thank you.
Yeah, they always do the thank you to dismiss you off stage in pageants.
This is the energy I think Bristol needs. We're almost there. They're able to choose their own song. And I would like them to walk down, pose, turn, and then walk back, eyes on the judges the entire time as well.
Yeah. Dude, we've changed the game. Bristol's never going to be the same after Laps Down comes at it. You know what I mean?
They're can't wait.
Hey, do we have practice today? Practice for what? The driving, the NASCAR race that we're doing? Oh, no. We have practice, though, for your walk.
Rehearsal.
So get on stage,
we have rehearsal?
There's an opening number. So you guys are going to learn some choreography.
Miss Congeniality. They all have, for some reason, they all have swords from, the Bristol. They're wearing, crowns.
They're just what the freak happened here? It's I don't know. These two girls, they came in, they just, I don't know. They were given too much power and this happened. I'm sorry, son. Get out there, though. Rehearsal starts soon. Well, keep that in mind, guys, next year at Bristol when you guys see us running the place. It's going to be great. Do we want to talk about the race? Why the heck was Allmendinger on pole? How did he get there?
AJ Allmendinger! He went freaking fast, dude. He went freaking fast. And then he had these sunglasses on that they were flat and one piece of mirrored glass. That was giving Goofy Goober.
That was Goofy Goober rock if I've ever seen it.
Straight from the ceiling. Yeah, they were a purple green shifty thing. They weren't pit vipers, but they had the same energy. And clearly I think no one was planning on him getting pole, or else they would have snatched the gosh darn heck away from him. But this is his first pole in I think 10 years. It's been a hot minute. So shout out to whatever's going up that colic.
The dinger.
I don't really know how that happened. Yeah, shout out to AJ.
Dinger. AJ. Good friend AJ.
AJ.
What do you think AJ stands for?
Akinzie Joy.
James?
Oh.
Akinzie Joy. Eichel Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Lord.
I'm still crying at who's MJ? Michael Jordan. You know him.
It's Michael Jordan.
I host a podcast with him. You're familiar? Don't catch up. Don't act brand new. Okay, that's crazy. The dinger was just crazy to me when I saw he was on pole. What just walk me through it. You're best to just walk me through it. Hold my hand. Tell me about this NASCAR race, please.
You want to go through the race? I didn't do lap by lap notes because you guys watched the race. I wasn't going to do that. I was not in our best interest. I was too busy having fun and giggling and having a good time. So we start the race. Denny Hamlin has immediate car issues. Who cares? He's already won a race. He's fine. He could literally take this week off and he would still be fine. Whatever, what have you. And then Ty Gibbs is leading.
What happened to the dinger?
Started
Did Ty
P4.
Gibbs killed the dinger?
He got overtaken by the Gibbs. He got gibbied is what happened.
Got gibbied. No.
Got gibbied. And he was leading for a hot minute. And then, as I said, we hit that nice little lap 32 mark and someone pulls in for new tires. And we just hear, we have tire wear, which was incredibly exciting. However, they did get 10 sets of tires. And if we just do some math together, 10 sets of tires, 500 lap race, and they're pitting at lap 32. Uh-oh. It sounds like there's absolutely no way you make it till the end. So Goodyear actually came in clutch a little bit later in the race, and they had all their little Goodyear. It was almost like Santa's workshop, like all their little Goodyear elves cooking up some extra tires. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they had to like bake them or if they just like mold them together or if it's like a goo situation like in Teletubbies where they just like squirt it out and just wait for it to harden. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they ended up getting each of the teams an extra set of tires, like stage 2, stage 3, which was really fun to watch. I thought it would be fun if they didn't have an extra set of tires, but nobody was listening to me. And then
Bristol till next year. When we run Bristol next year, no extra sets of tires. Good luck, losers.
And then we had just like a gut-wrenching experience for Josh Berry. His right front, it lit on fire, as we saw many of them do, but his was early, lap 80, and his whole entire car just filled with smoke, almost like instantaneously. He clearly couldn't see. He even said he couldn't see when he was coming back to the pit box, and then he stopped outside of his pit box. That's how bad the smoke was in the car.
He was set on fire before setting on fire was cool in the Bristol race. He was doing it before everyone else was.
He's trendy. If there's one thing about him, is he's gonna sit out
first
early.
To go out there. Yeah.
Always volunteer as tribute. You know what? Is Josh Berry our Katniss Everdeen of 2025? No, not yet. Not determined. Okay.
No, I think
no worries.
He's the real baby.
That's fucked. That's really
not
fucked.
Living to tell the tale.
That's hecked. Really hecked.
So freaking hecked.
So freaking hecked. Yeah, so he immediately retires. Just what a rough go he's had of these 3 races.
I have a fun little stat to share with you.
Oh no.
He's like the first driver in like years to like finish like last 3 races in a row. And it just so happened to be like the first 3 races of playoffs. Is that a playoff race stat?
It is a fun
races,
stat.
Period. 3 races, period. It lasts. First one.
And they happen to be the first 3 races of playoffs.
Yeah.
Woof.
The worst kind of stuff.
We did say, and we got some flack. I got some flack specifically for saying that maybe Josh Berry shouldn't have made it to the playoffs. And I guess a couple of these were car issues, but like he did self-spin. And so everyone who's giving me flack, why I oughta
take that.
But yeah, Josh Berry has been eliminated from the playoffs at lap 80. Lap 100, Riley Herbst decides to spin Alex Bowman. I lost my gosh darn mind. I said, Riley, why did you do that? Riley, what are you doing up here? But that happened. It was pretty inconsequential. And then after leading most of the stage, Ty Gibbs actually gets overtaken at very last second to Ryan Blaney, who ends up winning the stage. Ryan Blaney, because he was on the alternate tire strategy, whatever, what have you. Shout out to tires. Ty Gibbs leads on the restart, and then of course we have the first of many spins for Ricky Stenhouse. Apparently Eric Jones and Michael McDowell also decided to spin, but I didn't see that. I was really focused on the fact that Ricky Stenhouse was spinning and Carson Hocevar was nowhere near the scene of the crime this time. Another spin we had from SVG. a little bit later. He spins from 33rd. And at this point, it's like, bud.
No.
It ain't happening for you. You ain't going to the next round, unfortunately.
Do you want to know another stat?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like one of the like highest, like going into the playoffs, had the like biggest buffer to be eliminated. Like first round.
It doesn't help though that his biggest buffer came from road and street courses, and unfortunately there was not a gosh darn road and street courses in SAT for the first 3 races. I know.
To the Roval. The Roval.
I know.
Like, I know. It's okay. Don't
trust me. I've already been through this. I've had ample amount of times to be upset about this. And yeah, Ty Gibbs dominates the rest of the stage. I sure think that this is gonna go well. His domination, probably, but I guess we will wait and see. Stage 3 starts. Everyone, turn in your book to stage 3. We have another spin from SVG pretty early. Now he's donezo. Shout out, love him to death. And then Elliott gets turned by John Hunter Nemechek, and there was a little bit of discrepancy of why this happened. There was he was high and he was moving down into a gap that like you could see. I saw it. I saw the gap in front of John Hunter Nemechek, but John Hunter Nemechek was going faster than I guess Chase Elliott had predicted. And so when he turned down, he got turned by John Hunter Nemechek, went up into the wall. John Hunter Nemechek claims that he was bumped by Denny Hamlin. Whether or not that is true, I'm not sure. We never heard from Denny Hamlin's side of the story. We did end up hearing from Chase Elliott, who in the like media center after being DNF'd from the race was like very doom and gloom. This boy does not know points. He does not ever know what's going on. Bless his freaking heart. No clue.
He was, like,
and he's like, for sure. He's like, yeah, no, it just sucks that this is the way it ends. And they're like, you're like 23 points above the cut. And he's like, I would have to look at the numbers. I'd have to see where everyone else is. And they're like, no, like, unless there's like eliminated. Unless Alex Bowman wins, like you'll probably be fine. He's like, I don't know. I'll have to ask my guys, which is kind of how I am too. When people are like, so is he still in the playoffs at this point in the race? I'm like, I don't know. That's a good question. None of my business.
I think what we have to learn about the Chase Elliott situation is, what did Senna say? If you don't take that gap directly in front of John Hunter Nemechek, you're not a race car driver or something like that. So I think that like they tried to be like, it's his own fault. But like what I would say is like, or is he just brave? You know what I mean?
He's a pioneer.
Yeah.
Truly.
And like,
I saw the gap.
Because I wouldn't think that John Hunter Nemechek was going faster than Chase Elliott either.
Never.
Why would I think that? Never. And Denny also not at fault, because John Hunter Nemechek was then in his way. And so he was like, get out of it, probably.
I think everyone in this situation is innocent.
All victims, no one's at fault.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I'm glad we can walk away from this in that way. I was worried for a second, and it was definitely Denny's fault. I'm not going to lie. I was like, that looked a lot like Denny just pushed John Hunter Nemechek directly into Chase Elliott. That's what that looked like to me. But then I found out that's not what happened at all. And I love that.
Everyone was okay. Everyone is friends.
Yeah.
But Chase Elliott does just kind of always refuse to point fingers. At least he has this season. I'm like, point some fingers, call someone out, turn heel, or whatever they say.
And you were like, why is he not angry and mad? Because I am. I was like, I don't know, MJ. I think he's just
that's
like
not.
living and
Well,
learning.
I just said, I'm like, point some fingers, dude. Like, have a little fun. Say it was somebody's fault.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have another Ricky spin.
Mm-hmm.
I put that in there just because I think it's funny to keep track. Technically, it was Bubba's fault, but I agree with Bubba. I think that was fine.
Yeah,
and then we have this weird.
He was in the way. Move him. I thought this was Bristol, baby. I thought we were moving people.
It's like, I think we should give way to the playoff drivers, in my personal opinion, Ricky. You wouldn't know anything about that. And then we have this weird moment between like Kyle Larson and Daniel Suarez where there was a little bit of contact from Daniel Suarez on Kyle Larson, and Kyle Larson hits the wall, and then you see the moment that he effed a toe link, and when you F a toe link, you're done.
I'll say it because it's like part of the show's lore at this point. You fuck a toe link, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. You think you're fine because you bumped Daniel Suarez just a little bit, but you're not, because that toe link is never coming back. You're done.
And then after that...
No, I'm not done yet. I don't think that Daniel Suarez has to make way for that playoff driver. Just so we know. Just so our record is straight. I actually think Daniel Suarez was racing his own race, and that was a bit unfair for Kyle Larson to think he could just push his way through like that. And that's why his toe link didn't live to tell the tale. What do you think about that, MJ?
I love it. And then we have another incident with Denny. This is now the third incident. He also has contact with the wall. Clearly a little bit slow. Pits for new tires, comes out, and then we don't see the start of this incident. We see the aftermath, and the aftermath was a bit of a rubber moment where the tire is just rolling by itself, and you can see that it had clearly come from young Dennifer's car. He's claiming his spotter is claiming on the radio that it came from contact with AJ Allmendinger, but NASCAR doesn't want to hear that. Whether or not that is true, I don't know. I'd like to think so. I like the drama. I love a little bit of drama, but he ended up being held for 2 laps, obviously, because his tire decided to take a spin.
But if it was a true rubber moment, we will probably find out soon that his crew and stuff will be
suspended for 2 races.
So that's probably why I would blame the dinger too. I mean, if he's there, blame him. What are you gonna do?
Because if it was an incident with AJ Allmendinger, like whether it was his fault or AJ Allmendinger's fault, then there wouldn't have been the suspension. But I guess we're gonna find out. We usually find out on Tuesday. So when this podcast comes out, you're gonna have a IndyCar schedule, and you're also gonna know whether or not Denny's team is suspended. I guess
the world's
lucky you guys.
Tomorrow, you guys are going to know everything that we in this moment don't, and you better take advantage of all that knowledge.
How does it feel to be in the future? And then we have this moment from Carson Hocevar. He's in the midfield. I don't know, like 16th, 17th, 18th, and just like someone lit a fire under his ass, and he's like, tire saving? More like tire going. You want to see me get to the front real quick? And so he does. He just casually gets to the front. It was really fun. I was on his onboard at this point, just checking how things are going, because he was complaining of issues at the beginning of the race. And I was like, don't worry, bud. I'll hold your hand. I'll sit here with you. Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on
Bring some good vibes. And absolutely cooking. Ended up taking the lead from, I believe it was Ty Gibbs at the point, and I was like, "Oh my God, one of these young guns, as the old people call them, one of them is gonna win the race. How magical would that be? Take that, people who've already signed up for AARP. We've got the young folk coming up. Got him. Actually, you can sign up for AARP at 21. Look into that if you're interested.
Look into that. Are those the people that change your tires?
AAA.
See, and you could see how I was confused by that.
I see that. So we're thinking one of these young guys is going to win, and then about a few laps later, just kidding, Ty Gibbs makes an error.
I think that we should use very blame neutral terms in this segment. Continue.
I think those terms do not exist for this segment. He makes an error where he is coming in hot to the pit lane. Sure. I mean, part of the race is like going fast. He's not on fire. I want to clarify because that is going to come up. He is speeding. He's going quite fast. And he ends up having to dodge, I think it was Chase Briscoe, so one of his teammates, essentially, and dodges him, kind of slows down, and ends up getting bumped, like really square. So shout out to Austin Hill for not making this any worse than it could have been, which is kind of like Austin Hill's thing. So I guess bad job. But he gets hit by stick, like if you're gonna have a thing, stick with it. And essentially just like absolutely screws up his race here. That's too bad. We no longer have a young gun winning in Ty Gibbs, but there's still potential for Carson Hocevar. Hold your freaking hats.
He was gonna go in and pit, and then they said, "You're going too hot." But then he flat spotted his tire, which then turned into a flat.
Yeah, and he made contact with like multiple other cars, so it wasn't happening for him after this.
Yeah, but then he did pit the next lap, which is good. He took care of that flat tire,
sure,
which is important. I mean, it was less than ideal in the way of which he would do it without the hitting other cars part, but
yeah.
Still,
in this situation, it's less about the result, more about the journey. The journey was a shit show. I fear, Mr. Gibbs. Austin Cindric is the next person who is a victim of the fire behind the front right. Big fire. Lots of smoke in the car. I was positive when I saw how much smoke. Like, I mean, they were trying to smoke that boy out. They were trying to get him out of there. Like you do like a raccoon inside of your RV on a camping trip.
Yeah,
they were trying to get him out of there.
Young kid hotboxing. This was like danger.
No.
Danger.
He was not doing like Nick levels 6,000 or whatever they in that vapor
hotbox our number 2 Penske car.
Number 2 Penske. It was bad, and he was at this point, I believe 11 above the cut, and so the whole time they were just like, this actually has really serious implications. This could be an issue. And I was positive with how much smoke was in that car. I couldn't see Austin in there. I couldn't see his glasses. I had no idea if he was in there. I'm like, they're going to have to get him out of the car for safety. But of course they said, don't worry about that. Instead of that, we've put out the fire, put on a new tire, and you're good to go.
No, I think it's funny because they're like, don't worry about safety. We just put up the playoff graphic and we're counting down how many points he's losing every time he sits in this pit lane, and he's going to get eliminated. And I was like, don't do that now. He might like get smoked out in there still. Like,
give him a second
ready to talk about the playoff bubble. But it was kind of crazy because he was just like in one of those situations where they're like, he actually can't do it, Chase Elliott, and just DNF and hope for the best. Like, he actually will be eliminated if he does not finish this race.
And the person who was gonna eliminate him, spoiler alert, it didn't happen. Alex Bowman, who was at this point, he was equal points below the cut as Austin Cindric was above the cut, and you just see kind of that number getting a little bit higher. And it just didn't happen for him. It didn't happen for Alex Bowman, unfortunately. It did happen for Austin Cindric, though. So congratulations. You've made it to the next round. You are still in the fight to be America's next top model. Bless his heart.
Can we make our own graphics since how NASCAR is too afraid and cowardly too of like all of them like posing, and then like some of them are grayed out?
Let me write that down.
Because it's like they're just like afraid to, but like it would take us like 2 seconds to do that.
We can do that. That's something.
Every couple weeks we could just have the joy of graying out the drivers who are eliminated.
Or like how they do it on like the Big Brother, where you just hear like "doo," and then all of the people that you knew and love are gone.
Yeah, no problems. So how did Brad Keselowski's in the mix? He's in the mix.
He shows up, he's in the mix, he's bumping is what he's doing. Makes it past Christopher Bell. Oh, yeah. Mesa passed Christopher Bell and then just gains like a solid 3.83 second lead. That's pretty sick. A little bit later, though, he bumps Cole Custer, who bumps Bubba Wallace, and then Bubba Wallace hits the wall. Completely unnecessary, but it was kind of payback for, I guess he was avenging his friend Ricky Stenhouse. Whatever. I don't know. BK's on fraud watch
Weird
for that,
old
in
man
my personal
beef.
opinion.
Weird old man beef. Old men are teaming up. Weird old men beef.
Weird, bizarre, interesting behavior. Carson. Oh, yeah. So we get a caution after the situation with Bubba spinning. Carson is leading us on the restart from the outside. Okay, that's interesting. But wait. Zane mother frickin' Smith is on the inside. And I was like, we're getting one of the young guns. I don't know how old Zane Smith is. We're back. We're so back. Ty Gibbs has been sacrificed. Now we have Zane Smith. Is it an upgrade? No, it feels more like a lateral move. Any whoozy.
Seems like you could have told me that they were the same person. I would have believed you.
That would have been fine. If he was in a Monster Energy car, I would have said, yep, there he is. Ty Gibbs.
That'll work. Where's Riley Herbst when you need him?
You want to know where he is? I was gonna say he's in the back
subplotting. I love the Riley Herbst subplot. It's like, where's Riley Herbst right now? Fighting for his life.
He's doing his best. Doing his best as Corey Haim comes in and ends up in the top 6. Whatever. That probably means wonderful things for your future career, Riley. I wouldn't be concerned about that at all.
No.
But on the restart, Zane and Carson kind of go high, like they're battling, and you just see Christopher Bell just sneak on by. And that's essentially how it works. Zane and Carson continue to battle into like 3 and 4, and BK sneaks on by. So now they are no longer 2nd and 3rd. They are now 3rd and 4th. It's fine. They're young. They'll bounce back.
They literally just moved themselves out of the equation. Like with love, they literally both were like, "I'm gonna win. No, I'm gonna win." And Brad Keselowski and Christopher Bell were like, "That's crazy." So
that's not happening.
Doing that.
So we got a Christopher Bell win. Shout out. JGR absolutely swept the first 3 races. Yeah. Ty Gibbs could have won. It also would have been a JGR situation. But no, Christopher Bell wins after leading like 12 races when Chase Briscoe, or 12 laps when Chase Briscoe led like 100 plus, and Ty Gibbs led 200. But no, of course it was going to be Christopher Bell.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting that JGR was so dominant this round of the playoffs, because it's like, are they peaking a bit too early? You know what I mean? Like, is it like, can you continue this throughout all, like, playoffs are kind of long, you know what I mean? Like, are we peaking a bit too early?
I think they can. About. I believe in them, because I do think we're going to see Ty Gibbs' first win at the Roval, because
why not?
But you know. I hope so. I'd like to see Denny Hamlin, the bandwagon, make it past the finish line first for once. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think like the Roval, there's a lot of chaos that can ensue around that playoff bubble. So I think like your best bet is to just stay as far away from that playoff bubble as possible. So if you're Christopher Bell or Chase Briscoe or Denny Hamlin, you're probably like, okay, we got to win the next 2 races. What are our next 2 races? We have
this
coming up
New
Hampshire.
New Hampshire and then Kansas, and then I believe the Roval. Yeah.
Kansas is probably going to be Kyle Larson, right?
It very well could be. And I think New Hampshire is probably going to be more Penske coded. But we shall see.
Yeah. I mean, I've been pretty underwhelmed by Kyle Larson, and with love, Chase Elliott's performances like in playoffs so far have kind of been like,
I mean,
that's
all of
probably
Hendrick.
not what you would want. Yeah, William Byron has been like, I don't even know where he's been. I guess he's fine. Better than them. He's not crashing, I guess.
He was having, there's just issues. Hendrick is ridden with issues right now, and they need to be rid of the issues if they're looking to beat Dennis and Hamlin.
Yeah. So Hendrick is like kind of iffy. I think in Penske right now, like Ryan Blaney is, I think like
he's pretty solid.
Best performer. I think Logano's not doing the best, but like, what do we expect from him? Like, he kind of just does this all the time, and
it's
then
an odd year. We can't hold him to anything because it's an odd year.
But I will say the person that I am pretty proud of sticking by is Austin Cindric. A lot of people tried to tell me he'd be out in the first round, and by darn it, were they almost right. But I think it's great that he made it out of the first round. I would have liked to see that for Alex Bowman as well. I think Alex Bowman has a lot of people on his back, and it's so frustrating because it's like this first round of playoffs, like he can't be blamed for a lot of what went wrong. So it's like, how do you, it sucks to like kind of end the season like that and just be like, well, would have been nice if it wasn't a must-win situation in the third race, and if like maybe my pit stops couldn't have like dropped me like 12 spots every time I entered the pit lane. It's probably not a great way to rock in playoffs. Mm-mm. So were you surprised by SVG being eliminated?
No.
Were you surprised by Josh Berry being eliminated?
No.
Were you surprised by Austin Dillon being eliminated?
No.
Were you surprised by Alex Bowman being eliminated?
No. Yeah. I did have my heart wanted Joey Logano to be eliminated, but that's just, I think, because I don't like him. But I was like, those would be the 4 people who would be out.
I had Tyler Reddick being eliminated just because I thought like he was on such a poor momentum.
Low.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like it was like he was so barely in playoffs, and then like his momentum was just not on his side. So I thought like going into the first round that he would be out. But other than that, I was correct. I had him instead of Bowman, but I thought SVG, Josh Berry, and Austin Dillon were going to be out. And so in that way, I think my playoff bracket is like fair. Who are you looking to as like you're in danger, baby?
I don't even know. Yeah.
So you have in your playoff thing, you have. Ooh, this is surprising. You have Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, and Austin Dillon, who you instead of Joey Logano. Yeah, that's who you had as out in the round of 12. Do you think your tune has changed on any of those 4 people now that you've seen the first 3 races?
I mean, yeah, we're super JGR heavy, but with Denny Hamlin probably having the penalty, maybe that'll hurt him. Right now, the 4 people below the cut are Austin Cindric, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, and Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick is Austin Cindric is 1 below. Joey Logano is 2. Ross Chastain is 2. And Tyler Reddick is 3.
Yeah. I have Joey Logano as being out in the round of 12. I think based on what we've seen so far, I could see that continuing. Surprisingly, I have Austin Cindric remaining because, I don't know, I just keep thinking he's going to just like keep sneaking by. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know if he would sneak by above Joey Logano. Like, would Penske prioritize him above Joey? Probably not. I made some mistakes, I think, in my bracket. I didn't realize that Toyotas were going to be as strong as they were. So I have Chase Briscoe and Bubba Wallace being out in the round of 12, which I don't think anymore is the case.
I mean, Bubba's only 1 point above the cut.
I know, but he still is like been performing, I think, better than he has previously performed in playoffs. Like he's moving with a lot more confidence. This last race, he obviously got involved in some stuff that he probably wouldn't have if it weren't for the fact it was Bristol. I think if he can do good the first 2 races, then like it'd be nice to have him a little bit healthier above that cutoff line going into the Roval. I think I have Ross Chastain remaining because I think he could be good at like the Roval and stuff.
Yeah, I think he definitely could. I think Tyler Reddick could be good at the Roval as well.
We're Roval whisperers, guys. I also think like there's a scary part of me that I'm like putting Chase Briscoe to be out in the round of 12. Is there a scary world in which Chase Briscoe is going to be in the final 4? Even like this last round, he's been good all 3 races.
I think with the way that the JGR team has been performing, I wouldn't be shocked. At this point, I wouldn't be shocked. But also, like, just the way JGR has been performing the entire season.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely been a JGR dominant season. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be interested. I'd be interested to see if 2311 can stick it through this round. Our sole Trackhouse driver, if he can stick it out, it'll be interesting. Chase Elliott even.
I believe in the crazy of Ross Chastain enough for him to make it to the round of 8. And like you said, our sole Trackhouse driver, like he has the entire efforts of an entire team just on him. Because who else are they going to be doing all this effort for?
That is true. Well, I mean, they could get a win for SVG.
Yeah. And honestly, the way Trackhouse is at this point, they might actually prioritize that over getting Ross into the playoffs. They'll be like, well, this is kind of more fun.
Yeah, think of the t-shirt sales. Yeah, the Toyotas are doing well. There's only 3 Fords.
That's why I'm like...
Interesting.
I would like to see things play out well for Bubba Wallace. I would like to be wrong about him being eliminated. But we both have him eliminated in the round of 12.
Yeah. I'm also not very familiar with New Hampshire Motor Speedway, so
yeah,
I was going solely off of... Well, actually, I looked up their stats at these racetracks, so I was going solely off of how they've performed at these racetracks.
I just went, nah, New Hampshire. Feels like a fake place and seems like
not real.
Chase Briscoe will win. I don't know. I don't know. So, supercars, real quick. What do you want to, how do we want to do this? Do we want to just talk about our highlights from supercars? Because we're not really doing much of a race recap. We more of just have like highlights. You texted me with the most disturbing of newses from the practice sessions, which I will admit I did not watch.
The Red Bulls crashed into each other. Yeah. Okay, so to preface supercars, okay, where do we start? If anybody knows anything about supercars, this is going to be
okay. This is going to be painful for you.
To preface supercars season is split up into like 3 different sections. The first is like the Sprint Cup. Those are your typical races. They're just normal races. And then they have 2 endurance races. This was the first of the 2 endurance races. And then they'll have the finale, which is at Gold Coast, whatever, what have you. So we are in endurance racing, which means all of our supercars drivers, like our full-time supercars drivers, have co-drivers for this endurance race. And what happened was, yes, they have a buddy. And what happened was there were new safety car rules for this race that were implemented. And I tried to figure out what exactly was going on with them. I even watched, was it the Lucky Dog podcast, which is Will Brown and Brody Kostecki. And they were just kind of like, I don't really know how this is gonna go. And then Brody was like, he was like, I haven't been briefed on it yet, so I don't know either. But so they were doing during this practice a rehearsal. It was the co-driver rehearsal for the safety car procedures, and the co-driver of Brock Feeney's car, which was Jamie Wincup. He is like a 7-time champion. He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT of supercars. That's how they were referring to him. That's how I know him as. He was in front, and then the co-driver of Will Brown's car, who was Scott Pye, was behind. And it just, I don't know what happened. Jamie just kind of even watching it, I was like, there's no way this is actually happening. I'm like losing, and it's just a rehearsal. Like, we're just practicing safety car procedures when this happens. But Jamie made an error, and then Scott got into the back of him. And I mean, these cars were down for the count. Let me tell you that. They were down for the count.
They were
I think
the whole shebang.
it was stressful. We had like the 4 drivers all standing in little circles. And the best part about supercars is like they're in the garages. They are up right next to him going, it looks like there's some tension in the garage. And I'm like, yeah, no, if you stick your mic out like a foot to the left, I could hear the tension going on. But it really impacted Scott and Will's car, I think, a little bit more than it impacted Jamie and Brock Feeney's, because obviously Brock Feeney put it on pole. Brock, chill. Brock, stop. He's got to chill.
We get it. You know what I mean? It's like I just am getting here and I'm almost like, should I leave? It's already dominant.
A Red Bull domination.
I just got here and there's a Red Bull domination. Should I leave? Like, I don't know. Is it too late to leave? It seems like I bought the subscription to Superview. So
I know. And they were talking like going into the enduro portion. They're like, well, this could be anybody's race. And then we see Brock Feeney on pole. And I was like, I've seen this 100 times. I know whose race this is going to be. It's going to be Brock Feeney's. It actually wasn't, which was interesting. And Will Brown and Scott had to put on a recovery drive from it was like did I write it down? P16. They made it to P4. So that's a win in itself. It's like a second podium. If the podium went to 4 places, they would have been on the podium.
As we've always said, there should be podiums all the way throughout, just on varying levels of height. We've all said that. You guys are not new here. You know what we mean. No, I loved the little videos of Will Brown trying to help build his car back. I was like, oh, do they not have like employees there?
I love watching drivers when they're like, we crashed the car, we have to build it. Or we crashed the car, we have to put on the new livery on the backup car. I'm like, yeah, no, work.
You do. Work. Yeah.
No, I think that honestly, like if we had fan favorite in supercars, which we forgot to do in NASCAR, and I don't have the energy to go back and do it.
No, we have to do it.
Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3, Austin Cindric.
Oh, okay. Then let's just not do it.
Is yours not Austin Cindric?
No.
Oh, well, mine's Austin Cindric because I don't know. I guess I just thought it was sad when he got smoked out a little bit, but I thought it was interesting when he made a meme about it. And
hell yeah.
Other people made me sad this week just by being eliminated. And
no, that's fair enough. I would have said
they let him put the sticker on the bracket. It made me feel good to see Austin Cindric get to put his sticker on the bracket and be like, thank God he's still here.
I was gonna say Denny Hamlin because I loved the act. I loved the dedication. I thought it was interesting that he brought his daughter out, knowing that he was gonna get booed, but she handled it very well.
Wait, yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. That is kind of a strange choice, but honestly, like his daughter seems like she's like even more savage than he is. Like,
100%.
That 6'7" thing to him. He literally was like, "What are we talking about?" And she's like, "You're gonna look like an idiot on the internet."
Yeah, no, icon behavior.
Dude, she's actually really cool. She's like one of the kids that I'd be down to babysit. I have like a list in my head of like if this person reached out and was like, would you be down to babysit my kid during the race or something like that? Like Denny's kids, I'd probably babysit Denny's kids.
Yeah, they seem chill.
They would probably bully me, but like I think it'd be
100%.
It's funny a little bit. I'd be like, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm kind of dorky.
Yeah.
No, I get it. You guys are cool kids, and I'm kind of dorky. No, it's fun. I didn't know that you would pick Denny. That was great. Okay, I'm glad we did that. Yeah, no, I thought that was funny that Will Brown had to build his own car. We'll help build it. You also texted me about the pre-race playlist.
Yeah, they were playing K-pop Demon Hunters in the background as they were doing their grid walk to interview the drivers.
Soda?
No, it was one of the, I don't remember what song it was. But it was a banger. They were interviewing Brody Kostecki, and I just heard it like vaguely in the background. And I was like, I didn't know Supercars was chill like that. I didn't know Supercars was K-pop Demon Hunters chill like that. But they are, so
yeah.
that really makes them super.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, we've already decided that Alex Pillow is the one who picked Crazy Frog for IndyCar. I'm curious to know, like, we'll have to like put our spidey senses on and be like, who do we think picked the K-pop Demon Hunters?
Will Brown.
You think
he watched it on the plane to Portland? I know he did. He did.
It was like
in my
number
heart.
one on Netflix, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll download it, see what it's about." He downloaded on accident the sing-along version. He's like, "Okay."
He loves a musical.
No, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? I get it. No, the co-driver thing for Supercars has been very interesting because it was like, it seemed strange to me that the co-drivers were starting the race, but then I was like, I actually don't know anything about endurance strategy. I think we've talked about this on the podcast before. I just kind of like let the masters at work when it comes to strategy for endurance racing. I don't understand at what point you would do driver swaps. I am not going to pretend like I do, but I just thought it was interesting. Like I was like, oh, we're starting with co-drivers for like basically all the cars. I thought that was interesting.
All but one.
What do you think the thought process is there?
I don't know. I think a lot of the regular season drivers ended up racing at the end, which I think was kind of the intent. Like we saw the battle between like Cam Waters and Brody Kostecki. So I would assume that that's why. You kind of brought this up. It's a short endurance race. Like it is an endurance race, but it is quite short comparatively. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours long. It was just like a typical NASCAR race. Yeah. So it was kind of like the co-driver in the first place. I was kind of like, it is kind of interesting. But I mean, it makes sense comparatively to like there are other races that are pretty short because they usually do like 2 in a weekend versus doing like a longer race. So the whole co-driver situation, whole enduro race situation was just I'm new here.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting as well. Like I kind of talked to you about like the dynamic where it was like some people like Brock Vitti, for example, like has like this 7-time world champion as his co-driver. And then like there's other people where they're like, it's your Supercars debut. You've never driven Supercars before. Congratulations. It's your day today. And I was kind of like, this is so crazy to me that this counts towards the championship in a way. Because I'm like, what if they like had to like reverse grid it in a way? Like what if it was like Brock has a rookie and then the 7-time world champion goes to like some person who's like in last in the championship? I feel like that would be more fun in a way. Cause I'm like, yeah, of course you gave Brock the fucking 7-time world champion. Of course. Why not? But I'm like, that's not fun. He doesn't need that.
I wonder what the like the process is for finding the co-drivers. Is it like, because obviously like Red Bull is a top team, so they had like top co-drivers, but is it kind of like a situation where, because they do kind of like the equal field thing with like the engine manufacturers, they were talking about that before the race, where they're like, what do they call it in WEC? They bop. They're like, we bopped them.
We bopped them. We bopped them so that everybody's
so
equal.
That they were more equal. We bop housed them. We sent them to the bop house, but
we sent the Camaros and the Mustangs to the bop house, and then they came out and they were equal engines.
Equal,
yeah,
equality.
Equality is important to the bop house.
I would love to know more about like the process of like finding a co-driver, and like some of these like young guys were with other young guys, so I'm like, so is this just because of like a resources from the team situation? Is this like who you're comfortable with? Is this people like maybe, because I believe Jamie is like an owner of Red Bull. So is it like someone who's like in your pipeline? It's like we can only take from like this certain like Super 2 team. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'm saying I'm interested to know. I'm sure I could look it up. And maybe I just will.
Yeah, because I agree. I was like, we have 2 rookies on a team together? Like, I'm like, at what point is this just cruel and unusual punishment? I'm like, you guys are both new here? What's the difference between one of you being the co-driver and one of you being the main driver in the championship? At this point, you guys are interchangeable. Like, what do you mean? You guys are both new here?
It is so fun. I love supercars. You guys are crazy.
You guys are so crazy. Okay. So yeah, Brock's on pole. Will Brown, his car's kind of effed. We had Okay, so you said that Brock had a lead when you were watching, and then you looked up and they weren't leading anymore. I think I know what happened to Brock's car. I think this is how we had so much fuel talk. And it was fuel talk time at the bend. And it was because I think Brock's car had a fuel pressure issue. So when they put the fuel pump in, it has to like click perfectly if it's at like a wrong angle or if there's something wrong with the hose. They couldn't put the fuel in the fucking car. So they had to like pit like several times being like, yeah, there was no fuel that went in. So that's
I could see how that could be an issue. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was just kind of like it took their entire strategy and threw it out the window. They kept showing the people that go in these pit garages as journalists, they send me up the wall because they're just not where they're supposed to be ever. They're like, yeah, they're like, we don't know the fuel strategy, but it's worth noting that this is the level of fuel in Will Brown's fuel thing, much lower than Brock's, obviously. And you could tell, like, he's, like, talking to the fuelers. He's like, is something wrong with the fueler? Yeah? Yeah? You want to tell me what's wrong with it? And he's like, I don't know what's wrong with it. If I knew what's wrong with it, you don't think I would have fixed it by now so my driver could have fuel in his car? And, like, these journalists, so won't just, like, they're just on TV. Like, the other teams are watching this. They're like, so this is how much fuel they put in Will Brown's car. I'm like, this is real strategy talk that you're just putting on the TV. In NASCAR, we have to fucking do fake burn bar shit to get this sort of info. He's man and boots on the ground showing us exactly how much fuel they're putting in Will's car. What do you mean? What do you mean? What are we going to do?
I like what they're cooking in supercars. I like what they're cooking. He like, guys, I cannot express this enough. If you've not watched supercars, it's like, who's someone we could compare him to?
It'd be like if like the pit, like a Jack Harvey is like
it'd be like
the garage.
If Jack Harvey was sitting up in the box right next to Chip Ganassi, like looking at all of his monitors, and then instead of addressing Chip Ganassi, he's pointing to it and talking to the camera. That's what's happening. And everyone just accepts that they're in there. It is, but I love it. I truly love it because like I would have never known that had he not boots on the ground directly in front of the fuel. He's there as they're doing a pit stop. I cannot express this enough. He's like behind the left rear as Will Brown is getting fuel in his car, and then Will Brown speeds off and he goes, shall we take a look at the fuel levels? And I was like, whoa, dude, are you allowed to? Sure. You're not wearing a vest or nothing. Or a helmet.
No helmet. No. You can't talk in the microphone through the helmet. So, you just can't wear one.
I respect that.
Yeah, I think that supercars, interestingly, in many ways, it's one of the most beginner-friendly motorsports because it's like
100%.
They are so openly as confused as we are, and they're going to find the answers with us. In other ways, though, and I brought this up to you, not beginner-friendly, and I really struggled the first half of the race with the co-driver situation because on the stack with the times and the places, they have all of the names of who's in the car at that moment. I just got here. I obviously am barely knowing who's normally driving the car, and now you're telling me some other random person's driving it. They do show the numbers. I already have so many numbers in my brain for NASCAR, though. It's like I don't have room to learn all the supercar numbers just yet. I know Will Brown's, I know Brody's, and I know Brock's. That's about it. I don't really know everybody else's. And so I just had to wait until the co-drivers got out, and I'd go, oh my God, that's Thomas Randall's car. What's up? I had no idea that you were down there.
There's no logo either, which I think really trips me up. It's like they have the color of the like number is the engine manufacturer. So I have to like think in my head, I'm like, we're not Ford, right? We're Chevy. We are Chevy right now, right? And there's no like team logos, which I don't know if that's just like a decision they've always had. I don't know if it's because there's like they're like anti-consumerism, which like I totally understand, but I don't think it'd be like that bad if you just put a little monster symbol next to Cam Ward's car. Like I don't think it'd be that bad. Like no one would be mad at you, or a little Red Bull next to Will Brown. Like I think it would be fine, and I don't think anyone would be mad. Just something to consider. But it's fine. We're new here. We're trying to change things.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll get it. We'll get it. I'm sorry.
So Brody had a great race. Cam Waters, like you said, kind of a battle that went on until the end. You said Will and Scott get up to P4. What a drive, guys. As if like she thinks she's part of the team, guys. She thinks she's part of the team. She's writing these notes as if she's part of the team.
Yeah, what a drive, guys. Hell yeah, is what I said. Hell yeah.
Yeah. You like the feeling in the supercars. It's literally just a gas pump. They literally look like they're just plugging it into a gas pump.
It's not, though, because for the longest time, I said, where is that fuel coming from? It is sleek, right? It fits perfectly. It is. I was just going to like start describing it the way
You're getting weird and sexual, I guess.
I'm so used to seeing these like gas cans, like the really big like hamster water bottles that are flipped upside down. And then you have this like sleek, very quickly movable hose for the supercars cars. And I was like, why aren't we doing that shit? I liked it. Yeah. I was like, this seems really smart. But then you told me that you had heard that Supercars was looking.
At the last race, they were saying that they were looking into doing the gas can thing. Like they were going to make the
hamster
switch.
Bottles.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I think that would there is something that kind of like hypes you up about like the gas cans. It's like, oh, something's happening. This is big. This is intense. I don't really feel that way with the little sleek little nozzles, but I liked it.
I know I can't, but I feel like I could feel the car then. With like the gas cans, it's like, I'm out. I can't do that.
That looks heavy, and also you have to wear an apron because you may light on fire. These guys weren't wearing aprons from what I remember.
No. It's a little bit more chillaxed.
Yeah.
Low stakes. You also pointed out that when there was a penalty, and it took me a while to notice that they were doing this, they just announced it to all the cars. They're like, just so you guys know, this person has a speeding penalty. Yep. Do you like that?
Yes. I think it is shameful that anybody would get a penalty. And I think the best way to correct behavior is by public shaming. And I've always said that. But it also kind of adds
that's a
like
hardline stance, by the way. She's not going to waver on it at all. In
No,
all
no,
aspects of life, she thinks public shaming is the best.
Like that 4.9 review that someone left us, that is like
that's what that
a mode of public shame.
You're right.
I feel shame.
But I think it could be like interesting for some of the drivers because that may alter your strategy if you're like, oh, this guy has a penalty or whatever. But I think that information is relayed a lot of the time if it is relevant in other motorsport series. It's just so funny that someone comes over their little intercom and goes, car number 19 got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's like, okay, none of my business.
See, that's why I don't like it, is because I like in other motorsports where information is withheld from drivers and given at like when necessary for their plan. You know what I mean? I think it's fun.
That's
in
fair.
Other motorsports where like they're like, we're not going to tell him that the person behind him has a 10-second penalty. He should just like race him as if he doesn't have a penalty, and then it'll be a fun surprise at the end when he finds out he was going to beat him anyways.
Yeah. That's fair. Do you think it interrupts them? Like if you're mid conversation with your team and they're like, you need to come in to pit, but all you hear is you need to, and number 19 has gotten a speeding penalty.
I like the idea though of like in some ways like race control being this like omniscient presence. And that can like just voice at any moment in your car. They kind of do that in Formula E. You know how like the race control would be like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do like a couple more caution laps. And then we're all going to like, safety car is going to come in and then we're all going to race again. And then this is how the restart procedure is going to go. I think that that's great. I do kind of sometimes think like, if only we could do that in like F1 or IndyCar where like they could just like come on over and just speak directly to the driver. That would be interesting. If only we could do that. That's one of the many complaints people have had of F1, where it's like, why can't race control like better communicate start procedures and stuff like that to the drivers without having to like liaison through their teams? That's just like a delay that's not necessary. However, this, I'm like, okay, if I'm driving, like I don't give a fuck about some speeding penalty in the pit lane. Why are you telling me this? I don't care. And this is the car directly in front or behind me. Why would I care?
Yeah, because what if it's the car directly in front or behind you? What if it's you?
It's abusing
There's
power.
There's none of that confusion like what was it, Dorian Pan had, where she just decided to take a few extra cooldown laps because just no one could communicate to her that the race had been in fact over.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? Whatever. I'm not here to change supercars. I'm here to enjoy it. I just got here. Something else I enjoyed is how there was very little safety car. I don't know why we did this whole safety car thing. There was not going to be a need for a safety car. There's just grass.
There wasn't even a house.
It's just like if you go off the track, you're just in grass. You're fine. Just like keep going. There's not even like gravel. There's no walls. Like it was just like go for it, whatever. And all these cars were going off in the grass. And they kept saying in the announcement, and this person's well off into the daisies. And I thought like, oh, that's cute. Until they showed on Thomas Randall's car, like actual dandelions are
The
like
daisies,
in the front
yeah.
grate of the car.
The weeds.
Like all of these people that went off, they had like ran over all these yellow little flowers. And it was like all in the front grate of their cars. And I just thought, oh, well, that's just delightful. I think that's fun.
No one mowed? They said
No
no.
one mowed.
You're going off into the daisies.
And I liked that because in a way it was like, aw, like it's kind of like friendship bracelets for cars in a way. It's like just a beautiful little thing. You know what I mean? Like blow out the dandelions, but like with your car.
It's whimsical. It's beautiful.
It's whimsical. Make a wish, Thomas. Make a wish. Yeah. We're still, I'm still holding out. I think he could be one of my faves. I'm going to be honest. I think he could be one of my faves. He really wooed
Thomas
me.
Randall?
Yeah. I think he could. He really wooed me. He was very nice when I met him. And then I just liked how he bebopped around America for a bit. He hung out with Ryan Preece. That's a good way to woo me. I don't know. I was slightly wooed. Sounds like he's in a tough spot, though, for the championship. They kept saying this is a really definitive race for him. And I was like, stop it. That's my friend. Don't say mean things about him.
He accidentally went off into the daisies and now you're going to bully him? No.
Now you're going to bully him? I'm really confused what the blue flag situation is like in supercars. I'm going to be honest, because it like at one point, like Brody was like, why the frick is this car in front of me in my way? Like, please get the frick out of my way. Like he was mad. And I think he kind of like ran the car off a little bit because he was like that pissed. But they were like making it sound like there is a blue flag. So I'm like, why was this car not given a blue flag? I don't really think I'm understanding then what the issue is. Like, then yeah, he should have moved out of the way.
Yeah, that is kind of what it sounds like according to what I just Googled. There are blue flags, and they do mean, hey, there's a faster car approaching, get out of the way. So I'm not quite sure what his issue was.
Yeah, it sounded like Brody was like, why is this car not getting a blue flag? Get the frick out of my way. I'm trying to, like, I don't know, win the race here, so it'd be nice if you could get lost, buddy. And, like, even the announcers were like, Brody's really mad, guys. We're not going to play his radio. He seemed really upset right before he ran this lapped car off the road. So we're just going to let him be upset and be angry. And I don't think he got a penalty for it, probably because it was justified. So he's just a little mad. Don't look at him too much. He's just having a moment. And I liked that. So run him off the road. If they're not going to move, run him off the road. And then to speak a little bit more about the Bop House, they did a little side-by-side talking about going into Bathurst, which is like the next race, which is the big deal race. This is like the big deal. Is this their Indy 500?
1,000. It's their Laguna Seca. It's the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl of supercars is the Bathurst race. They were talking about the speed difference between the Fords and the Chevys and how there was a slight one. So how they made modifications to bring them closer together. And their estimates are they're in 0.1 seconds of each other now on like their
That's so
speed.
cool.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's go, boys.
I'm
I was
so
like, that
excited.
sounds really exciting. So they're going to have, it's obviously an endurance race. So they're going to have the co-driver situation again. And it's actual, like a true endurance race. Like it's not just like a little 5-hour sort of shenanigan.
It's
How long
twice as long
Okay.
as this one. And Bathurst is like, it's not like I was telling you how it's crazy how flat this
No, I
course
watched
is.
Bathurst last year and I was like, hey, this seems
It's
unsafe to drive
like
on. What's
in
happening?
a mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sick. Guys, it's going to be
kinda
so much fun. Everyone tune in. It's the same weekend as Petit Le Mans. We're no sleep. Bathurst,
sleep.
Petit Le Mans, whatever IndyCar and F1, not F1, not IndyCar. NASCAR? And
NASCAR. Yeah, NASCAR is definitely
just saying
NASCAR.
her name, it just invokes
NASCAR.
something in me. I should text her.
So that was really cool. Also, another reason why you should be getting into in supercars, if you're not, is they actually are running a foreign exchange student program. So they sent us SVG. We're sending them Austin Cindric for the final race. And Austin Cindric said he's going over there for an entire month. He's like really clocked in. Like he's really going to like learn the supercars of it all. SVG's already texting him rudely worded advice. I think is him being friendly. Unsolicited, sternly worded, you need to get your together type advice, which is interesting tactic. And I think they're friends. I don't know. Hopefully. SCG, you can text me anytime and say you need to learn how to right foot brake if you're going to be good at supercars. I think that's good advice.
Helpful.
I think that is. Uh-oh. My AirPods died. No, they didn't. We're good. I'll have to edit that out. That's fun. There's also a rumor started by Will Brown, which means it could be nonsense, but it would be fun if it wasn't, that Connor Zilic could do some supercars. And weirdly, Chevy like responded to this podcast clip, which I cannot stress enough. I think like we're up there with Will Brown and Brody on how many people comment on our podcast clips on Instagram. So it's like weird that Chevy commented.
2.
Yeah, 2. And honestly, we could start contributing more if we wanted to do our part. Just start commenting on all of their podcast clips.
Oh, I thought you meant on ours. I was like, I mean, I do sometimes comment on our podcast clips, but maybe we should just start yours, mine, and then ours. We all 3 of the accounts comment vaguely the same thing on each podcast clip. Might as well.
I think they run their own podcast. Like, I get the vibe that they run their own podcast socials. So I think that would build a bridge between us and Will Brown and Brody. I think we got to reach out.
Speaking of socials, did I send it to you or did you send it to me? The Will Brown's. Oh, it's going to be gone now, isn't it?
The
post he made. He made a story. It was a story. When his car was having issues after the wreck, and what did it say exactly? I wish I could find it. You do it.
He said something along the lines of like, they're gonna have to bench Brock's car. It's only fair. If this was McLaren, they would have benched Brock's car. It's only fair.
Fair to Lando.
Like something about Lando. And basically just being like, it's only fair.
It's only fair. Dude,
you don't get a car for practice if I don't get a car for practice. And I was like, no, you can't make that joke, unfortunately. You're an actual driver in motorsports. I can make that joke. You can't. But he was like,
no, it was good. I clapped. I just standing ovation when I saw that at 1:00 in the morning.
She stood up and clapped alone in her. Okay, I definitely want to like read it for sure, what it actually said, because it was so funny and so petty. He also posted a story today of him and Brody filming their podcast, and they both look extremely tired and are yawning. And I was like, dude, they're so laps down coded. Like, it's crazy to me how laps down coded they are.
It's a fun podcast.
He said, If this was McLaren, we'd park you for a session, Brock. It's not fair for Lando.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him building his car.
It's funny. He's so funny.
Yeah. Love him dearly. And then we also sent each other the thumbnail for the Nashville vlog, which if you haven't gotten a chance to watch, you should watch, where you gave feedback of how none of the words were centered. And I was like, no, I could work on that. Yeah. No, that's fair.
I think it's just something that could be adopted. I don't know. It could be fun.
I've started capitalizing things. I've started capitalizing my letters. I'm working on myself for you.
Slowly but surely. No. I'm always dazzled by your improvements.
In this marriage, like I keep improving and pushing myself to be better. There's always something for with you. It's like if I don't capitalize the letters, then I have to fucking center them or something. I don't know. But it's like, what do you want from me? What do you want from me?
You're doing great. We love your thumbnails. Me and everyone else who sees them. They've all told me. But we talk about it.
Lots of people are reaching out saying, hey, can I make that exactly like yours? Or what's up with that? But we're never going to get divorced because we're almost to our 1 year anniversary. And everybody says the first year of marriage is the hardest.
Then, I mean, we're set to jet because I feel like this was pretty easy.
Yeah. So keep an eye out in the next couple weeks. I think our 1 year anniversary of Lapsdown is in 2 weeks. And we are going to be doing some stuff on socials to celebrate that you might want to be a part of. So be sure if you don't already to follow us on Instagram or TikTok or both if you like us that much at Lapsdown Pod. And is there anything else we want to say about Supercars, NASCAR, IndyCar, F1? We're going to watch IMSA next week. If you guys have any other fun things that you think that we should watch, feel free to let us know.
Let us know. I think that's all from my side. That's all I got.
That's all she's got, folks. Okay, bye.
Goodbye.